Hey April, hey GB, you're second today. Hey Tabby. Hi Carla, hi Brenda, hi Patricia, hi Crystal, hi Kathy, hi Jill, hi, who is that? Cam, Brenda, I should put on my glasses, Jules, M. Hank, hi, Aussie, hi, J. Oss, hi, Baby, hi, Lisa the Greatest, hi, Tori, Pixie Sticks, Jesse, Sharon, hi, Nicole, Angie, whisper to me, hi, Jennifer, hi, Carla, Patty, Margot, hello, Chris Ree, Narc Shark, who's that? Not, no guys, what is that? I can't see, no guts, no glory? Okay, click, click, click. Patty and Jack, hi, Vegas Donna, hello, Amanda, Mama Ames, Rhonda, Wild, J. May, Doug Griggs, Donna Griggs, nobody robs our trucks, hello, Aussie, mildly sunny, Dana, Sheila, hi, Marilyn, backdoor, baby, Lisa, and I see you too, Miss Mary, see me at the beach. Okay, so you guys were right on the fast verdict, not 15 minutes. I thought when they didn't come right back with in 15 minutes, I said, oh, everybody's wrong. And then it was on because I had it casting on the TV. Hi, Jimmy. And then I saw them come back. What was it, like 60 minutes or something? It came back, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're back. And then you knew they were guilty, right? Once they came back that fast, come on. But that was the strangest. I've never seen a verdict given like that. They didn't even have them stand separately. They just read them out like that. I mean, and then they're hauled off. Then they're sentenced the same day. You don't know a thing about the case, and you knew he'd be guilty. Hi, Pallets. So, yeah. Hi, Florence. Hi, Lisa. So, yeah, that was so weird. And the sentencing, and then, like, all that craziness, like, with the outbursts, and don't tell me, oh, sorry, Aussie. Oh. Okay. You might want to put some cotton in your ears for a little bit. Hi, Joanne. So yeah, that was just really weird. Okay, then did you watch the opening arguments in the Amber's trial? I mean, not Amber's trial, Tim's trial. That's live streamed, right? The judge, yeah, that was. I'm telling you, everything about from the way that's filmed and everything. Hi, Michelle. It was too slow and boring for you, BBC? It was quick for me. I thought it was really quick. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that, what he did to the psychologist? Oh my gosh. I was like, I sat down, like, I asked Jimmy, I'm like, what the heck did he just say? Yeah, so, yeah, they're Gully Bam. And then he's like, no, I was wearing a turtle suit, but it's not, doesn't close well. And it just popped open. But don't they have a camera? And why did she just sit there? Like, wouldn't she have left? I don't understand that, but okay, I'm not going to. Hi, Snow Remover. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Prince of Pisa. Hi, Jill. Where is the Jones case being broadcast? It's on a news station, W. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. Let me see if I have it open. Yeah, here it is. It's WLTX 19. WLTX 19. Let me get back to the chat here. Hi, Brenda. Hold on, please. If you're Okay, so while you're looking at that, I'll just go recap the Jones opening statements, because we can't talk about the McNabb because Aussie is trying to finish the verdict. She doesn't want us to talk about it. Oh, did you look at the avocado? We could talk about the avocado for a minute. Never done an avocado, but I have a good feeling that it's going to turn out well. Is Alicia in here? Because if anybody wants to do their avocado, then you should do it now so we can compare notes. Today is your friend. Yeah, okay. Oh, boy. Let's get Emmanuel out. Really, Emmanuel, you should get some new stuff, because if you think I'm going to fall for that, you really are mistaken here. I think someone else is trying to... Sharon, can you get Emmanuel, just remove him from the channel, please? Or D. Clue Girl, somebody? Hi, D. Clue Girl. I'm clicking on him, but I don't know if somebody else is clicking on him because it's not letting me get him out. Don't time him out. Just remove him from the channel. What he said is a hate word. He's trying to do that. So just get rid of him. Please get rid of him. Or Charlene. Yeah, Charlene, you're there. Your pineapple's coming great. You should send in pictures so we can share your pineapple progress. You fall for those every single time. Come on, baby T. Okay, hold on a minute. And Martin Gamer, we can get him out too. For some reason, I can't get anybody out. I don't know what happened. You planted your pineapple today, Tori? Hi there, Jigsaw Puzzler. How do you, Caitlin, I made a video. I posted it earlier tonight because Alicia wanted me to do one. And I have never done an avocado, though I have seen it in a plant book. I've always wanted to do it. So tonight I did it and I have a really good feeling about it. So I think everybody should do one, and then we can compare. And I think if you did your pineapples, you should be taking a picture, send it to my email, and then I can share it like that other pineapple that we shared that was really good. Hi, Sophia. You already made a pineapple upside down cake from your pineapple last July. You should have. Did you redo the top? Please tell me you re-rooted the top. We're not allowed to talk about McNabb right now until Aussie finishes getting the verdict. She's watching the verdict right now, and she doesn't want to have a spoiler. So we're going to talk about Amber. Yeah, they must be Glam Dolly. So the Jones trial. I'm surprised. Okay, just opening statements. I've got to find out what time it starts tomorrow and who's slated. I don't know if Amber is slated to take the stand, but I think she might be, because I'm fairly certain she told me she's the first witness. Fairly certain. So I will check on that. But I'm just going to go over the opening statements because I think I took notes. They didn't have to tell me to take notes. I knew to. D. Clue Girl, did you follow this at all? Okay, so the the prosecutor keeps using this one statement that, they should have been safe in their father's hands, the kids, right? But the defense is all with the bad seeds, okay, that he had such bad seeds. There was so much mental illness in Tim's family, okay, so much mental illness. His mother supposedly is still, or she passed away, I don't know. He said 20 years in a psych unit for schizophrenia. You will follow up with the Jones case tomorrow? Okay. And then, he was born with these bad seeds, and then they just got worse. Both sides, maternal and paternal, had severe mental illness, right? Mother is schizophrenic. He's schizophrenic, okay, is what his defense is saying. And, and then he got into he joined the Navy. Let's see, hold on, let me get to my notes here. I've got so many freaking notes here. I shouldn't just try to remember because I took my notes here. Gotta get another pad because I've got 2 cases going on in this pad. But I don't think we can't talk about this, Melissa, until Aussie tells us she has seen the verdict. She doesn't want us to give her a spoiler. She has a few more minutes on it. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. We can go back over that while I get out my Amber notes. Not my Amber notes, my Tim notes. Jeez, this is bad. I've got too many notes here. Here's my McNabb. Hold on. Here's mine. Oh, a child should be safe in his father's arms. That's the prosecution over and over and over again. Right, and the defense says he's a schizo. His mind is broken. His mind's broken. Tim's mind, right? He has a family history. The mom, she's, schizophrenic, 2 decades. Major mental illness on both sides of the family. So the seeds for his brain were not healthy to begin with. And, his environment, not good either. Then he had a traumatic brain injury, okay, because he was in a car accident. And supposedly the frontal lobe of his brain was damaged. And he has a divot in his skull that you can clearly see. I wonder if this is why he shaved his head or what, okay? He's a forest. Then the bad seeds got damaged because he started to use more, they got damaged further when he used mood-altering substances, okay? But then he joined the Navy, okay? And then he was released from the Navy and he went to prison. But in prison, he got this love of Jesus, and he believes in a literal translation of the Bible. Don't speak what you... No, why are you going to cry? Oh, no, I'm joking, Aussie. I'm being sarcastic. Don't cry, please. I'm going to talk about this first, then we can go back to that. Nobody thinks you're bossy. I'm joking. Okay, did you guys think that Aussie's bossy? Though it rhymes, though, Aussie, you have to admit that. But I don't think that at all. Absolutely not. I think you're very sweet. Okay? No worries. Nobody thought Aussie was bossy, right? No. See, everybody type up if you thought Aussie was bossy because I said that or you knew I was kidding. Carolyn's bossy, see? See, everybody said no. Look at that. Okay? Aussie is super sweet. See? No worries, Awesome. You don't have to cry. I'm going to cry because D. Clue Girl called me bossy. Oh, you're a little sensitive today? That's okay, Aussie. We all get like that. Okay. So, let's see. He was released from the Navy. But go ahead. Go finish watching because I'm going to talk about the Jones thing. And I'm going to wait for you to finish the... because I'm nice like that. So he's released from the Navy. Where did I go? He went to prison, got a love of Jesus, right? Lives in a literal translation of the Bible. Okay? And then he meets Amber. And it's love at first sight. And, they go... How did anybody call in?
Kids, Jews. Stop fucking raping kids, Jews. Damn Jews raping kids. Stop raping kids. I'm done with it. Jews, I swear, man, Jews are raping kids, and this everybody holds the hate crime. No, it ain't a hate crime, it's the truth. Raping kids. Okay, Jews raping kids, man, that's all they do. Look into it. Ask a little. We'll tell you the truth. Jews.
Okay. I let that go on because that goes to the FBI and they want me to get the little recording of them. So that's why I let that go on. That's all they need to hear it. And I don't even know how they called in because the numbers are hidden. So I don't even know how they called in. But yeah, but it's good for him to get a little soundbite of it because it goes to the FBI. Okay. So let's see. Bad seeds, right? Okay. So he gets this. He meets Amber, love at first sight. And they go down in Mississippi. He followed his dad down there to Mississippi. And now he's really good, even though he has all these damaged, bad seeds, right? You can see the numbers. You can see them all. Here, I'll take them. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. They look like they were cut off to me. Can you see them now, Declu Girl? No, RC Breeze. Now we're on the Amber. Remember Amber? Yeah, don't worry. Listen in no time. I've got it. Look at me. Look at this. Watch. I'm not shaking a bit. I'm not shaking at all. Don't worry about it. I got it under control. You don't know. I've got the FBI watching the channel. Don't you worry. Okay. So, where did we go? Oh, so he meets Amber, love at first sight. They followed the father down to Mississippi, right? He's got to follow his father down. And then, even though he has these really damaged seeds, he is really good in computers and math, the defense is saying. You know, he's really good in this. And he gets a job he goes to school, and he gets a job with Intel. But his job at Intel is really, really stressful, guys. It's stressful. All right? So, you know, he comes home, and the defense is not saying he's abusive to his children, but uses the terms that he believes in, that literal translation of the Bible. And, you know, believes in the spare the rod, spoil the child, and that the rod is an instrument of love. But we're not talking about the bruises. We're not talking about beating your child to death. We're not talking about strangling your children with your bare hands. We just, you know, go over that, okay? Let's see here. And then I've got two different, you don't even understand. I've got like I don't know how I ended up doing this. I've got one page, I turned it over, I have the other case on there. You watch the opening statements, his smooth operator, right? Yeah. Glossed over everything, made it seem like he's just, you know, he's a poor guy with just, you know, he didn't know what he was doing. I'm going to finish with the prosecution. I'm going to do it in the opposite order. Oh, but then, okay. Amber gets pregnant, right? They start having their babies. But then when she's pregnant with the fifth one, there's a supposed affair. And poor Tim, you know what? He feels like he's abandoned again. So after he's felt like that in his life, then she goes and does it to him again, Amber. Okay? And then she says, you know what, Tim, this is the defense saying this, okay? You're a more capable parent than me, so why don't you just take the kids? Go on, you know, take them. You're a better parent than me. And she was pregnant for the last baby at that time, okay?
Please stop raping kids, Jews. That's all I ask. Please stop raping kids, you damn Jews. Please. That's all we ask. That's all we ask.
Okay, so, mind you, I know who this is too. Okay. But anyway, I digress. Again. So, Tim takes the kids, right? He takes the kids. He starts utilizing babysitters. And he knew that there were problems, okay? That there were going to be problems. So he starts going to a counselor, and he starts taking the kids to a counselor because, again, he's such a good father. And he knows that growing up without his mother, because she was away in a mental institution, that there's going to be problems. So he starts bringing his kids to the counselor. So they're already painting him as like, you know, this poor brain damaged dad that doesn't know right from wrong, doesn't know moral right from wrong. And, he's just trying to muddle through, doing the best he can. Everybody's abandoned him in his life, He did a stint in jail, but it really wasn't that bad because that's where he found Jesus, okay? And he believes in this literal translation of the Bible. So this is, the defense is going on. And then, supposedly, he was on abstinence from drugs and alcohol, okay? And he took the kids to Disney World in the summer of 2014. Really, really good there. And then, let's see. He wanted his kids to love him like it says in the Bible. So now, are we going to... I wonder if they're going to go to the point that the kids didn't respect him like it said in the Bible, so that with his mental illness, I'm not saying that they said this today. He said that he wanted, but I'm extrapolating that they may come and say that because he believed in that literal translation of the Bible and he had such a mental illness. I think that we're talking about the Jones case, Tim Jones, the man that killed his 5, and within 4 minutes started. I don't even know what's going on. So, I think they might say he couldn't help it. He had brain damage. So of course he's insane because he has the insanity defense, the Jones card. And he's just going to say, I'm totally insane. So he extrapolated that they weren't, that's what he was doing. That was the rod of correction when he was strangling them and beating them to death. Okay? All right. That's where I think it's going. Because other than that, he was a model dad. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, this is the last thing the defense says. Wait till you find out what he was searching for on his computer. Self-help. Yep. Wait till you find out the self-help books he was buying on Amazon. Yeah. The self-help books and the religious books that he was buying on Amazon. Because he was trying, to really become a better person. Okay, we're not mentioning the drugs at all. That he makes it sound like the stint with drugs was early on, and then he abstained, is what he said. Okay, he wasn't doing drugs or alcohol. I can't even believe that are they going to just say he was? I don't even understand this. Okay, now. So that's the defense. I went in the opposite order there for you guys. Now the prosecution. Let me find my crazy notes. I've got to. Again, they said a child should be safe in his father's arms. They said it about 5 times, right? And hold on. They go on to say that he knew morally, what was right and what was wrong, and he knew by law what was right and what was wrong, and that he killed the kids to get back at Amber so that she would never see them again, and that Amber called prior to the 28th, I think it was the 27th, and what is Spice? Oh, that's that. And Amber heard yelling and the father saying something about an electric socket to one of the kids. And what do you want to do? You want to kill yourself? And then he hung up on Amber and she never heard from them again. And nobody ever saw the kids alive again. And then he took that Cadillac Escalade after, he beat the one son to death, strangled 2 of them with his bare hands, and then the youngest 2 he strangled with a belt. Okay? He put them in garbage bags. He drove around with them through like 3 states with his Cadillac Escalade. And then he buried them somewhere, but the car smelled like death, they said. He was picked up at a routine traffic stop and with the car smelling like death, with a clipboard, they said, okay, on the side that literally told what he was doing about disposing of the kids. And so, you know, it was, I don't know. I'll look at the chat in a minute because it's just distracting me. So I'm not going to look at the chat. So then in a few days, he took them to the spot where he buried all 5 children. Okay. All right. And they're going to show that he's not insane. He knew the difference between right and wrong. And he knew the difference morally between right and wrong. And he did this to get back at Amber because he felt that with the affair that he accused her of, that she further rejected him, and he couldn't take the rejection, okay? So that was, let me see, I think that was basically, oh, I forgot this one. The defense said, oh, what, he was so good. They got, when he married Amber, they got ducks and chickens and geese. And, then he says Amber never graduated. This is the defense. Amber never graduated high school, but she was going to homeschool the kids. But he had such a big job at Intel. It was so stressful. And, there was a strict observance of the scripture. Tim, strict observance of the scripture. Okay? So, hi there, Ariel. And the Bible was his literal guide to how to live his life. Because I must have missed that part in the Bible where it says that you kill your 5 kids and drive around with them in a Cadillac Escalade. But I guess that's because he interpreted it wrong because the seeds of his brain were so badly damaged. But that he got custody. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so anybody else see that and have anything else to add on that? And then we'll see if Aussie has heard the verdict in the McNabb case. This whole case makes you sick, Catwoman? Yeah. They were between 1 and 8 years old. Yes, that's correct. He can memorize the Bible, but he could not apply it. She said it. I believe it was in a call. The Bible doesn't say to murder the most precious gifts, right? How many, those of you that watched the opening statements, was there anything that I left out? I'm trying to see if, I think I'm missing a page, so I don't know. Let me see here. He's done, you said? You watched? Okay. But we let's see if Aussie's done. That's not the way I understood it. I understood that after the one child died from punishment, he felt he had to kill the rest. That's the way they're saying it, Charlene, because I think that's what they want you to believe. But that's what the prosecution said. Prosecution said he knew the difference between right and wrong because he didn't call 911. If that happened that way, Charlene, why wouldn't he have called 911? Why would he kill the rest of his children? Anyway, yeah, but the defense is acting like he wasn't on drugs, which is interesting. Like that he had a stint with drugs, but he learned his lesson. And then he was, abstaining from them and alcohol. Oh, okay. Where can we see it? Oh, this? You can see it on, let me tell you the channel. WLTX 19. That's the news station that is, they have a YouTube channel too, so WLTX 19. Okay, and Charlene says because he felt he was screwed. I'm not saying it was the right choice. Yeah, they have a channel though. That is their channel. They have the news. The news have YouTube channels, just like 11 Alive that was showing the other one. Right. Yeah. And then he wrapped them in garbage bags and drove around with them. And then tried to cover it up with bleach. And you know, because he supposedly didn't know it was wrong. Why would you cover it up with bleach if you thought you were doing... Right, Susan? We'll see what happens. It's supposed to go into June, is what I hear. I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You got Carla. No, as inside plants, Jigsaw. Inside plants. Oh, yes, of course the defense is going to blame her for everything because, you know, he got chickens and geese. They took them to, you know, places like Disney World, but she just wasn't happy because she had an affair with the neighbor, according to him. They won't mention that he hit her. They won't mention that he was abusing the kids. They'll gloss over that. Yes, it's a death penalty case, Carla. Okay, so it will not root, Lasso. Keep it in there, Lasso. I've had some that have taken 3-4 weeks. I'm telling you, some are stubborn. Sometimes you can't even talk at all. Who? In this case, really? The Jones case? Your pineapple looks really bad. How? Is it turning brown? That doesn't mean anything. I've had ones that I've had to cut almost all the leaves on. I'm telling you. I've had ones that the water is dried up in it, like for a day or two, and I put water in there again, and I'm telling you, they're very, very hardy. Like all last summer, I never had time to plant them, so I just kept adding water, and then I planted them like in September. His lawyers seem like they're going to fight tooth and nail. Yeah, and it's going to be poor him. He's got a divot you can see in his skull. Your daughter wants you to throw it away. Tell your daughter not to give up on it yet. Oh, Dana, if it's the one I think that they've already... Yeah, this is probably the one that tried to collect donations on her behalf, unbeknownst to anyone else. You think you see a root? Then keep it in there. I'm telling you, just cut around the brown part if you have to. Take out. Maybe you have too many leaves that you left on it. Okay, is Aussie, are you done with the verdict? Another divot, yeah. So, Aussie, are you done with the verdict? Does anybody want to call in and discuss the opening statements in this? Does anybody have anything they want to say about this? Hi, Ravi. And just like a quick thing, okay? If we're like taking calls on a case, we are sticking to the case. If you want to come on and discuss something else, then you have to email me and we'll pick another time for it if it's applicable to be discussed at all. But we're not going to have the crazy lunacy of last night. So if anybody wants to come on and discuss, I'm going to put the number here. This is for opening statements in the Jones case. Or things related to the Jones case. Nothing else. You're welcome, Red Rum. Yes, Noreen. That way, then I don't feel bad because I'm going to tell people right now, if that happens and we're on a certain thing and you can't stop, then I have to remove you. So don't feel bad because I'm going to have to do it. Most people with schizophrenia are not dangerous, right? Yeah. Thanks, Crystal. You know, I think, Carol, I think someone put up the wrong email or something. Maybe I typed it in because Black Rose sent me one and there was a misspelling in it. But you know what? We've got... Is anybody in the chat on the phone? No, I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure. Because, all right. Same troll. Okay, yeah, because there was a misspelling, but yeah, J Bell's baby needs a lot of prayers. Okay, that's what I'll say. He needs a lot of prayers, all that he can get right now. You're lost to Scooter. That was quick. Oh. So I'm just waiting. Did Aussie say that she's done with the verdict? Mommy, just continue. Okay, you just. All right. Okay, no problem, Aussie. Just maybe put us on mute or something, and then come back in. Okay. So the verdict today in the McNabb trial. You all. Who's there?
It's Jenna.
Oh, Jenna. Okay. Wow. Okay.
I'm not that crazy person.
Oh, no. So did you want to talk about the Jones trial?
About the brain damage
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
I have front lobe brain damage. I went through a windshield when I was out for a walk. And it's my entire front lobe is white, and I've always been held accountable for things I've done and I do, and how to even get to my kids. So I don't understand how.
So you don't agree with that that could even be to blame for him killing his 5 kids?
No, because there are so many people in the world that do have some sort of brain damage if you have had seizures or anything like that.
Right.
And a lot of babies who are born have some sort of damage, especially when they were our age, from being pulled out with, I don't
Raping
remember.
kids. Stop raping kids, Jews.
So I think, I don't know, I just find it highly inappropriate that it makes it look like the rest of us can't.
It's insulting, is what you're saying to the people that have it, that they're making it sound like they're criminal or unstable like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and also he had the children for, I mean, the oldest was, he didn't hurt them until, I know he believed in spare the rod, spoil the child.
Right.
But I just don't understand how that can be the defense. Now, you said that there's schizophrenia and stuff in the family?
Yeah, the mother has it, and she's supposedly 20 years in a psychiatric ward, and he grew up without a mother. apparently had a stepmother, but apparently had mental illness, very severe mental illness on his maternal and his paternal side. Multiple family members with severe mental illness.
Great gene pool. Sorry, that was
Well, that's what they're
So-
saying. That's what they're saying. They're saying he got bad seeds. This is what his defense team is saying. He got bad seeds to start with, and it just went downhill from there because he lived in a bad environment. And then he started using mood-altering substances because I guess someone had a gun to his head to do that. Then he went into the Navy where he had some trouble and was discharged. And then, of course, he got into trouble with the law and ended up in prison. But that's where he discovered the Bible and Jesus, and that's what he bases his life on.
So he's a jailhouse Christian, or
Right, and then he had the accident. Let's not forget the accident he had that he got the brain injury from, and that left frontal lobe damage and the divot in his skull.
when was he married with any children when the brain injury happened?
I think the brain injury was when he was an adolescent, like an older teenager, I believe it was. It was a car
Jews
accident.
rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids.
I thought I'd be quiet so you could get
Yeah.
it recorded.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, it's Debbie.
Oh, Debbie. Okay, good. I just want to know that's you. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's what. Yeah, I think it was when he was a teenager or in his like early 20s.
I think he was granted custody, wasn't he?
He was what? He was, yes.
He was
They,
pregnant.
well, the defense, yes. The defense said that Amber said she was pregnant, and he said they said she was having an affair with the neighbor, and so that she said that, go ahead, Tim, you just take all the kids because you're the better parent than me.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's how
but
custody works in the real world.
Yeah. So that
and
that's what they said today in their opening statements.
but was he actually
Yeah.
given granted custody by some legal?
He
procedure?
was, yes, but they
Yeah.
also said that they didn't look at reports that they should, and they didn't know that he had a criminal past. And
So another failure. How can
Yeah.
they not know that he had a criminal past? I mean,
Right.
what do they look at? Their McDonald's card.
1 through 8, Julie.
You know.
Right.
You know, that frontal lobe damage is very it alters their personality. I have one of my grandchildren's father has that, and we can't associate with him any longer because of the damage it's caused to his brain.
Is he
Um,
violent?
Yes, yeah. And I can't believe that someone with that injury was not put through the ringer to test every single aspect of his life. And he should never, I mean, this is where they have failed, because he should never, ever, ever have been given custody. Even if they deemed that Amber was unfit, he should never have had custody of those children. And so the department, what do you call it over there? We call
Human
it,
Services.
we call it Department of Community Services.
Department of Children and Family Services, yes.
Yeah, they need to be held accountable for this, because this is blatant. It's a blatant error on their part, and they are pretty much solely responsible for the death of the children. I mean, I know that he is responsible, but you know, the fact that he had a criminal past, that he had that frontal lobe damage, and that there were a lot of other signals crying out, they've just failed those children terribly, and failed Amber terribly. And you know, I haven't watched it yet. Where are you watching it? Because I'm in Australia. I don't know.
It's on the YouTube channel. It's let me see. It's
Yeah, okay. I'll
yeah.
just Google I'll just go
WLTX19.
Yeah, it doesn't come up as a suggestion for me. I don't really know that it's on. But
Yeah,
I'll
if you put it in the search bar, it should come up.
Yep. Okay. It's just so sad, and again, that the system just doesn't work. You know.
Yep. I mean, yeah, they definitely said. I mean, and the teachers were saying the kids had bruises and stuff on them, and lots of things. So yeah, we'll hear more in the testimony to come. But yeah, I mean, it's just.
I think there should be something go around your country. Well, ours needs it too, but not a petition, but something demanding an overhaul of the system. I mean, you need to have voices speaking to the powers that be to say this system is broken. I mean, everybody, I don't even live there and I know it's broken, but it needs a complete overhaul. It needs more staff. I mean, the children are just dying because people aren't doing their job.
Can I interject? This is Cece. Can I just interject a second?
Sure.
Yes.
I couldn't agree with this caller.
Jews rape kids. 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 Why are you raping?
This is hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I was just saying it. I couldn't agree with you more. This is a broken system, and are you there?
Yes, we're all here. Yes.
There seems to be some sort of a interference on the line.
It's an interference. No, it was a caller. I got rid of him.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But like I was saying, this is Cece. I'm new to your channel, great channel. And I just wanted to intercept and say I couldn't agree with what the caller, I can't agree with you more. I'm really disturbed by all of this stuff that's going on now. But with this case, I think nature, nurture plays into it. The frontal lobe damage. I mean, it certainly, I guess there's some sort of a defense there, but it doesn't make this right by any means or make it okay. And again, I agree. It seems like the system has failed here.
Oh, yes, definitely. It failed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that people need to take a stand.
But the thing that failed them the most was their father.
Yeah,
Yep.
That is true. There's no getting past that he was the person that did the deed. And maybe we can't prevent all crime from happening and child abuse, but we can give it our very best shot to try and be advocates for the children that don't have a voice. And I would like to see, I don't know in your country how you would go about that, whether you could start with a petition that might get a bit of air time, a little bit of contact some channels, some television stations. I don't know, but I think unless someone starts one step at a time, unless someone takes the first step, it's never going to change. So why not let us take the first step? And
I agree. I totally agree with you. Somebody's got to take a step and do something because this just can't go on. It's just children are suffering. They're it's really a mess. And why? Why is this happening? Why does this continue to happen?
Because no one's taking control of the department and making it right. It's probably due to lack of funds, lack of policies, the government, the laws and legislations that, you've got to find new laws that allow the department to have the ability to take firmer steps. Those children should be alive today. And you know what? The sad thing is that even if those children were taken off him, the likelihood that they would have been placed with someone else inappropriate is still quite high.
Oh my God, so true. That is so true. Because we hear more and more about this. They go into foster care,
Yep,
or they go
absolutely.
and there's abuse. I'm not saying everybody.
I've even thought of, maybe stepping back a long time and actually, maybe having like an orphanage again, somewhere where you can put these beautiful babies and beautiful children that have so much ahead in their life. But even then, if they do that, that needs to be mandatory. It needs to be watched over by someone that is doing the right thing, and that people that work there need to do the right thing. And I mean, it's just, I can't emphasize it enough that it's not about just putting a system in place. It's about making sure that that system is working, and that there is absolutely no way that these children can be harmed or can be, abused by, because whenever you put people in charge of these places, it attracts the wrong people. It also attracts good people, but it also attracts predators. It attracts people that should not be. Yeah. So what is the answer? What's the
Excuse
answer?
me, ma'am.
What?
And then I just wanted to point out, though, I do agree we need a much better, definitely by far, child welfare, but it's also not their job to, parents should be taking responsibility and not hurting their children.
Yeah,
But
that's correct. But it is their
I'm-
job. That's exactly the point. It is their job to make sure that the parents are looking after the children. And if something has brought the children to their attention, they then need to make it their responsibility to protect those children. Yes, the parents have to have responsibility, but the fact is they don't. So
not all are capable. Not all of them are capable. And it's so sad. It's so sad. And what do we? There's so many people. Not to get on another subject, but there's so many people that want children and that want babies and can't have them. And it's just, there's got to be a better way. We can't keep going on like this.
When you look at all the children that have been in the news over the last even 3 weeks, I think every one of those children that have been killed, been murdered by someone that was supposed to protect them, that child was already under the guidance of the department. So, someone's not doing their job.
But you know what? I think somebody is hearing this, hearing you, hearing Mommy, hearing everybody that truly cares. They're hearing this, and this is going to touch them. People are learning from this live stream, this broadcast. People are listening, and hopefully it will make this can make a difference, a dent. Everybody's feedback, their love, their thoughts. I mean, this just has to end at some point. Just sickening. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it just breaks my heart.
I would like to add that I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat room cares and wants the best for the children.
Amen.
Yeah, I know we do. I'm just really passionate about this topic, and I just think if we all just go about doing what we normally do, then what normally happens will continue to happen. So it's about taking a stand and and making a voice, and having a rally, or getting on the steps of Parliament, or it's about bringing attention and following through.
There are a lot of people that are still unaware of what's going on, and things like this, a broadcast like this. somebody might come across and see, they're like, oh, I mean, I know that there are things in the news like, you know, the Watts case, this case, that case, but a lot of people are truly unaware of what's going on. Either they're into their own thing, or they just don't want any part of the news. Who knows what it is? But I've talked to people before in my church group, for example, and they're completely like, they seem in the dark, like they're unaware of these things. So this is a real,
Yeah.
this is so beneficial. Something like this, what Mommy is doing here, just discussing it, opening,
Yeah.
you know, the conversation, getting this open, getting it out there. People truly care. I was watching a few nights ago a broadcast here. Everybody was trying to help the woman that was expecting, I guess, or I don't know if she's had the baby. But everybody's like, what can I do? What can I do? I mean, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love.
Oh, absolutely. And the population of good people in the world far outweighs the population of bad. The problem is that when the bad exist, it causes really bad things in the world to happen. And so we need to find solutions to you know, control the actions of the bad people. And, you know, the systems are just broken. And I'm going to start watching this case, and I you know, really busy, but the fact that he had those injuries, you know, not defending him at all, absolutely not. And if they saw fit that he was fit to handle those children, then, you know, he's solely responsible for his actions.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if the department had acted correctly.
Yeah,
and,
I think a lot of people agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
DPS called on him?
What, did somebody say something to me?
I was asking Carolyn a question.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you repeat that? Because I was answering someone in the chat about something.
Oh, I was asking if child welfare was called on him.
Oh yeah, they were there many times. There's many reports of visits to the home. They didn't know when they gave him custody that he even had any issues with the law. They didn't know. I don't even think they knew about his discharge from the Navy. There were a lot of things that were missed.
Discharge. And
don't they have access? They should have access to his criminal record. I mean, it should be a requirement that department is able to access people's criminal history. It shouldn't even be. It should be just a click of a button to find all the information that they need to find. And if they're not doing that, then that needs to be changed as well.
You know, why can't the children just be safe? They're innocent. Why do these things have to happen? I mean, I know there's good and bad. There's evil, there's good, but it's, you know, enough already. Somebody do something. I mean, and you're making a difference now. Everybody's making a difference, you know, a little bit of a dent in this, but enough is enough. I mean, innocent children, they can't fend for themselves. They can't stick up for themselves.
I think that the people that do these things don't know how to love, not just their children, but they don't know how to love. They've usually been brought up in very dysfunctional families and have a history of whatever behaviour they're doing, and they continue that history. They see power. They don't see a child how we would see a child. They see a child as their almost like their animal or their pet, and they show very little care for those children. They use and abuse them. You know, they just don't know about relationships. They just don't have the ability
You seem to have such an understanding. Do you work with children, or do you have a background in psychology? I mean, I don't know what
I used to work. I used to work in long day care, which is in Australia is a centre where your children will go when you go to work. They usually open at 6 in the morning and close at 6 at night. I worked.
Daycare.
Yeah,
Okay.
I worked one-on-one with children with disabilities and also behaviour problems or family problems. I have been touched very, very closely by some of this. I have 5 grandchildren who I love more than life itself. And I can't understand how anybody can put their hands on a child in anger. And, you know, even whenever you even discipline a child, you should never do it out of anger. If you need to walk away, these parents need to know if they're angry, if they're upset about something, they need to walk away. Put the child in a room by themselves so that they're safe. You know they're safe. Go for a walk for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, if the child's locked in a room, they're safe. Because the people, you know, that abuse children, you know, sometimes they're even fairly decent people, but they just have a very low capacity to cope, and they don't have coping skills to know how to deal with the situation. And, you know, if I can tell you one thing, it's walk away. Make sure the child is safe and walk away. Ring someone. Get out of the house. Go and see a neighbour. Do something that will break the cycle of your anger. Because
That's exactly right, Reagan. The cycle. Now, you have an education. You also have in this, and you also have compassion. I can tell by just listening to you. But also, you have experience with working with these children and working with, you know, knowing the parents and everything. But what you're saying about, and I want to hear Mommy's opinion on this. What you're saying about walk away and all of that and the coping skills, how do they, is there any way of getting that message? I mean, for example, and this is going to sound really stupid, but, you know, don't smoke, don't, you know, don't drink and drive. Can't there be something where, and maybe Mommy, I hope she can put her input in this, you walk away if you're frustrated. I mean, why isn't there anything like that out there? Mommy, can I hear your opinion on that?
Why isn't there anything out there that says that? I mean, there's every parenting book you pick up will say that. Don't ever discipline your child in anger, you know, walk away, count to 10.
I don't mean that. I just mean like put them in a safe place, walk away. I don't mean necessarily disciplining them in anger. The coping.
Maybe you're talking about some campaign like we have drug
Yeah,
awareness.
that's what I mean.
Oh, you want, yeah.
Drink drive awareness. Maybe we need to have a child awareness, you know, just an ad on television to say, you know, you know, everybody feels this sometimes, but, you know, this is what you need to do. Because sometimes just pointing that out to
can I just say one thing? When someone, and I don't know, see, maybe in the chat, you know, okay, if somebody is being investigated by CPS, don't they have mandatory parenting classes that they have to go to where they talk about this stuff?
They do, I think they do have them, but whether or not they attend is a different matter.
No, but I think they're mandatory or they'll lose their kids, or isn't it?
They are mandatory, but if you listen to some of the cases that we've had over the last few months, those parents were given mandatory to attend these places and didn't go. What were the ramifications of that? There were none.
Well, then then it really failed if there were no ramifications and they didn't go.
Absolutely.
They have at least 10 hours of mandatory parenting and anger management if it's founded that abuse is happening. And they have to, if the children are taken away, they have to be reintroduced to the children in an office with a child therapist where the child, where the parent comes 10 minutes after the child comes, and the child leaves after the parent leaves, so they can't know where they are. And also, they have mandatory checks where they would be able to get the records of prison and being disqualified. I'm not exactly sure why this didn't happen with this DCF, but they definitely were not doing things the way that
I think if you look at
supposed to.
all those things that you're saying, they say they're mandatory, but they are allowed to go unpunished time and time and time again. If you have a system that requires mandatory behaviour, it has to be followed up on. Because if you look at the cases that we have been looking at, these things have been mandatory parenting classes. And the amount of people that do not attend those classes is very high. Or they might attend one and, they're supposed to have gone to 10. They're given chances and chances and chances. And the fact is that they should have had access to his criminal record, but they didn't. Obviously, either they didn't have access or they didn't bother to look. So
They
either
didn't
way,
bother to look, most likely.
Yeah,
either way, it's I get really cross about it because yes, we've got this procedure, we've got that procedure. Well, why are the babies still dying? Because the procedures are not being stuck to. And unless someone yells and screams about it, it's not going to change. It's just, oops, there goes another one. Oops, there goes. And, this is what we're hearing about. Imagine what we're not hearing about.
Oh my God, yeah.
And little bubbas are screaming and crying and their parents are hurting them and you're sexually abusing them and neglecting them. And that child has no voice.
And then the other thing that goes on is then you have some foster homes, a lot of them, that are very good, and you have some that are really bad, and the children are being abused in those homes and they're being molested. So, this system has been like this for years and years and years. There's kids, like you said, it doesn't stop. Anytime you turn on the news, there's so many cases about it. Nothing's ever really been done about it. And when you take the kids out, it's pretty much like a 50-50 whether they're going to get a good family or they're going to get a family that's going to abuse them further.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And that's why I was thinking more, as regrettable as it is for me to say that, this maybe, more of an institutionalised place, because if you have a great group of children, I don't know, 40, 50 children in a place that can be monitored very closely by not just one person, not just two, not just three, by a whole team of staff, that, you might get some baddies in there, but hopefully you'll get some goodies. But, often in Australia, the people that do foster, we have a very huge shortage over here for foster parents to look after the children while they're out of their parents' and in childcare, I saw this, and the people that are doing it really should not be doing it. I think the bar is very low because there's such a shortage of people that they set the bar very low, and they go home and sleep at night thinking that they've done a really good job with little Johnny and put him into a loving, caring environment. But little Johnny is fighting off an attacker that night.
And they have no idea.
How heartbreaking is that? And
I think you're right, though, about the team, having a team, like, look after everything, not one person, not two, not three, but, I guess that's a really good idea, because I was just reading some of the comments and people are saying, well, in foster care or whatever, these kids can be abused. It's just, as you said, 50-50. I mean, if I could, I would take in as many kids as I could, but I'm not equipped to do it. And it's heartbreaking. It's just really heartbreaking.
Ma'am from Australia, as a person who has had to call CDF on somebody as a teacher, it's a very hard call to make because, first of all, the child could get punished if there's no findings. You're taking a family's life and putting your nose in it where you may think you saw something but you didn't, and that's a very difficult call.
I actually
And
don't
I
think it's
tried to do it, and it
call at all. It's not difficult at all. If you have the evidence and you know the facts, then the children, you can't turn a blind eye. It's not a difficult
as a
call. And
teacher, I was a mandated reporter, so I never turned a blind eye. But it is a difficult call to make. I don't know if you ever had to do that.
I think it's an easy call. I think it's probably one of the easiest things I can do is if I see someone treating their child inappropriately and, and I think they're in harm. I'm not just talking about a mild indiscretion, talking if I see abuse and I am very concerned for the child, that call is the best call I can make. And you know what? If it's nothing, if there's nothing there, the parents will know that there's nothing, and they will not be offended by that call. If it's a person
be
that
offended
is
by that
mistreating,
call.
if it's a person mistreating their child, they are the ones that will kick up the biggest stink. I can tell you that. So I would like to err on the side of calling them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think this has always happened, or do you think there's just more and more of it happening because we have the internet and we can hear the news pretty much live or right away? Or like, why is there more and more of this happening? Or again, has it always been happening?
It's always been happening.
I think it's always happened, but I think with the insurgence over the last 40, 50 years of drug addiction, drug abuse, mental, when you think about 100 years ago, people didn't actually live that long. It's just a whole totally new life.
A combination of, maybe a combination of things, a combination of.
Absolutely. And I'm sure it always existed. And, but people, there wasn't so much like media and stuff like that. And even your neighbours, 50, 60 years ago, you might have even had any neighbours and life was treated very differently, a while ago that, parents certainly were a lot stricter and, used the belt and, it seemed spare the rod, spoil the child. And, but the cases that we're looking about, it's not about discipline. It's about a parent's inability to cope with a child and the hate for that child or what the child stands for. And, you know what? The first thing I absolutely would say is if you're a single mum and you enter into a relationship with another man, that relationship has a very high percentage that the child will be abused by that person in the relationship.
I've read some about that it's not a great idea to bring, let's just say, a woman brings a man into the home. She already has children and it's her boyfriend and they're just living together. I mean, you're right that tendency, I don't know if that's the right word, but that's there, that risk. It seems to be stronger.
It is. For a non-biological child, the risk is so much greater. So my advice to women that have a relationship well, they have children and they have a relationship, keep that relationship separate from your children. And even once it does involve your children, that should be supervised. Someone should never be brought into the house to live in your house.
Right.
You know, until you've been with them for quite some time and seen their interaction with the children. It is hugely high. And I think, you know, sometimes mums go in there or women go in there with love glasses on and you know, they don't really see what's happening.
Or also being just needy, like maybe needing, because they're single moms, the financial support or, you know, that kind of thing. They may be like, okay, I'm really desperate, or they may have whatever issues they have, but it's got to be so severe that they would risk the safety. I mean, maybe not even on purpose, but just like be so desperate that, you know.
They never do it on purpose, and they think this will never happen to me. I mean, Amber never would have thought that her ex would have killed all 5 of her children. I mean, it's just something that no one ever thinks of. So, you know what? You have to think of the unthinkable, and you have to cover all your bases.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, think those 5 kids. It's like I could just cry. I'm sick to my stomach just thinking about it. You know, kids can't fend for themselves. When's it going to stop? I know I said that before, but it's like, you know,
Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Stop raping kids. Jews, stop raping them kids. Jews.
What is?
Stop talking.
Hello?
Oh, funny
Man,
guys.
the callers
We really,
are really
think you're
fired
funny.
up tonight, huh?
We don't really listen.
Callers
to
are
you.
really fired up. You know, the real
We just
problem,
are.
the real problem with the kids these days is the parenting, and you guys don't do the right parenting nowadays. You know, you're afraid to smack the child. Smack the child. Who gives a shit?
Excuse me? Are you saying to abuse children?
Just don't.
Who doesn't smack their kids? Come on now. You got these kids acting out, dressing up like, you know, the other gender and who knows what.
What do you?
All right, he's jumped on one of our lines, so I'm gonna hang up in case it's mine. I don't know. Line's still here.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to respond or.
Okay, so it's me and
I'm in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Cece, I'm Cece. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was on mute. I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you. I had to open the room to let Debbie Loves Vapes in. Debbie, please come on in so I can close the room, lock it, so we don't get any more trolls if you're coming in.
Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids.
So, Debbie, if you're coming, otherwise I'm going to lock the room because they're not going to stop right now, and it's just getting ridiculous.
Well, another thing I don't understand the point of that.
Yeah, it's just because they don't have lives.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's very
they're
sad.
looking for attention and
Do-gooders.
They definitely didn't
Yeah.
have good parenting or role models.
There's a fine example. Fine example right there.
Here we go. Is that Debbie?
I'm Cece.
No, I know. There's another caller every time.
Heil Hitler.
All right.
Hello. Hello.
Are you there, Debbie?
Yeah, no, Debbie's not here yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's-
Debbie, if you're
It's Cece and I.
yeah, see, hi, who's there?
No?
Hello?
Debbie, I'm Cece. Debbie, are you there?
Yeah, there's Debbie. I can see her.
There's Debbie, and then, but I don't know. Okay, I just want to find out who these other. I'm going to lock the room now. If that Debbie Loves Vapes, and I'm just going to lock the room, and we'll find out who this fifth person is here.
Jordan?
Hi, Debbie.
You know, we're probably going to have something that people have to put a picture there because I can't tell who's like I don't know who's who when I'm looking at this. So
Okay, how do I put?
Should be
How
able
do you-
to go off of something from the YouTube
How do
chat.
I put a picture in? How do I do that?
you just click. It should be something about turning on your video camera or using a photo,
Okay.
or at least having your.
Option. But
Alright.
you said there's an app to download for how we call in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just do it by my phone without.
All right, but we do have a troll here, so I'm just trying to narrow him down. So
Okay.
I believe
I'm
he's,
just on a
Wait, what?
landline. I'm on a landline, so can't hear anything now. But
okay. Just 1 second. Let me just narrow this guy down here.
needs to get a light.
Is Debbie on the chat? Can we get an answer from Debbie Does Vapes?
Debbie's on.
I see Debbie up on the screen. Well, not a picture.
I
There
don't
was
know.
a
I don't.
picture
But I don't know if it's really Debbie. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I see what you're
the troll used to do the same thing with the name. He's the only one that did the thing with the name, and it's pretty funny that the thing with the. No, she's not, and it says it's locked. Okay.
Okay.
Hang on.
Did
Yeah,
Australia
Debbie's
leave?
on.
Oh, I see.
Cece, can you talk for a second?
Sure.
Okay, no, I just
this
want to
is-
make sure it's not you. Okay, so I'm trying to mute someone,
Okay.
and I can't. I'm going to get rid of this person because
Okay.
I think that is our troll there. Okay,
Okay.
so Debbie and who else do we have on? Cece. Do we
oh,
have Cece? Cece, you're there. Who's down in the bottom? Okay, now it's you and me, Cece. Okay.
Okay.
And so Debbie Does Vapes. I opened it for you.
Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids. Jews rape kids.
Gas on
Rape
meters.
kids.
For the love of God.
Can't you go get a light?
Gas on meters.
Leave. You're harassing us.
They don't have a life.
Pretty sad.
Pretty sad. I mean, it shows you what the youth of today is doing. Okay, I'm sure they're really upstanding citizens in their communities.
Yeah, not. That's
Yeah.
obvious. I mean, pretty sad. And we wonder why we have the problems we have.
Yeah. So Debbie, if you're coming, please let me know because I just can't. I'm not going to just keep the room open.
I saw her. Well, you don't know if that was her, but I did see a picture.
I know. I don't. That was definitely not. She said it's not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Debbie, are you there? Come on in.
Yeah, we are going to talk about the McNabb case.
Oh, good. I watched that, the sentencing today, and well, the whole case.
Yeah, that was very strange to have the verdict and the sentencing right away. I mean, so quick like that. Hi, who's that?
Hello, is this Mommy Ramblings?
It was the quickest I think I've ever seen, the quickest sentencing, or verdict rather.
Right. Yes. Quick. 65 minutes, I believe it was.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
right away the sentencing, and yeah, that was just crazy. And then the way she was having a freak out, and I think the judge was, we'll just put him in the back. He's talking about Facebook and streaming it.
Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11.
Hi, this is Mommy Ramblings.
Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11.
Go away. You're evil.
Hey, is this? Hello? Hello?
Who is this?
This is Operation Z. I've been trying to call in for a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. How are you
I don't know
doing?
if you guys are still on. I'm okay. How about yourself?
Good. We're okay. We're dealing with some trolls here.
Yeah, I can hear. That's pretty annoying. That's why I stopped doing lives.
Hi, who's there?
I'm
Hi,
sorry.
my name is. Hello?
Yeah, just
Hello?
everybody.
Hello?
Yeah, Operation Z, CC. Just quiet for 1 minute because I want to just get this person out and lock the room.
Okay.
Who just came on?
This is Debbie.
Hi.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
Debbie.
I'm not.
No, we've got a troll on here, so I've got to narrow him down.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody that's not a troll, just stop talking, and I'll find the troll because he'll go yellow. Debbie Loves Vapes, are you on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to lock the room first of all so that we can get rid of the troll and then the room is locked.
Okay.
Okay, and Debbie Loves Vapes, you don't have your name. You're not Debbie F?
No, ironically, that is my last initial. Oh, that's weird.
Okay, but that's not you. I'm going to get rid of that person. Is anybody want to take the name of Debbie F now in the chat? Tell me if it's you and you're a real person. Otherwise, I have to get rid of you.
I'm a real person.
Okay, this is the troll.
My name.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Now I
the
think.
person's talking.
Yeah, that's the troll. I got rid of him.
Yeah.
So what's going up on?
That's why I stopped doing lives.
You can go first. Whoever the guy is that's talking.
Yeah, Operation Z. You want to take the floor there for a second?
Yeah. Are you still Are we still on the
Oh, we're on air.
the
Yeah,
Child Protective Service?
we're on Child Protective Services. Yeah. We were talking about the Amber Jones case, and of course the Child Protective Services. It failed that case.
Right. No, that's actually, what I was calling about because it's, I've had interactions with them before and it's a really, really thin line. Like in Florida, it's an epidemic. I mean, they're using what they call the forced adoption program. And if you look in kind of the poorer areas, you notice they keep their children alive. CPS doesn't tend to really bother with them. I mean, there was one case where they had a file a mile long on this woman, and they kept releasing the child back to the mother, and then they found her dead in a freezer. The same thing with the parents. They took their newborn baby, was released back to them, and they found the baby dead in the backyard. So, and then you take, middle to upper class families, and they don't have anything to hide, and it typically seems to be the case when they invite people in. Yeah, I have nothing to hide. Come on in. Yeah, I'll take a piss test for you. These are the families that CPS tends to prey on. And when I say prey, I mean prey. They have destroyed families this way. They use what they call the divide and conquer method. They'll attack the children at school. They'll put fear into the child, try to manipulate the child to say anything at all that can be considered incriminating against the parents, just so that they can draw a case against them. So it's typically the parents that have nothing to hide that end up in the worst situations with Child Protective Services. And in Florida, I mean, it is bad. It's extremely bad. They're using children, you know, typically children over the age of 3 are safe. Under the age of 3, they're using them. It's a money racket. Senator Nancy Schaefer and her husband, she was fighting for CPS. She was trying to expose the corruption because they turned it into a major money racket, and her and her husband were found murdered in her home.
I see. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, there's so many mistakes. I mean, I don't know. Like I was saying, it's the same things that have been going on, and they keep going on, and everybody's talking about fixing the system, but it never gets fixed.
Well, there's too much money involved, and that's true with not only CPS, but a lot of cases out there. Anything that involves government, it's just, if it involves money, it's not going to get fixed without an uprising. And I hate to say it like that, but it's the God's honest truth. There's just too many things that are broken. CPS, I mean, I don't know about most states, but I know in Florida, it is bad. It is bad.
And they probably don't have a lot of, they're lacking in foster homes in many areas. The foster homes they have in many areas are not good. People doing it just for money. They're not taking care of the kids. They're abusing the kids even further. And, you know, it's just, like I said, it's such a broken system all the way around. And so sometimes they think, okay, well, keeping them with the parents, let's see if we can get the parents help. Let's see if we can do this. And then when you do have the really good foster homes, like I know my girlfriend and her husband were fostering 3 boys, they gave them back to the mother. She went back on drugs. She went, you know, completely off. Then they took those 3 boys that were so attached and, so, you know, living such a structured, good life with my girlfriend and her husband. And then they had to give them back to just another family. So they uprooted these boys. You know, it's so sad when she tells the story of how they cried and how, you know, because they really loved those kids. And
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. So then, you know, they're in it's just horrible. So that's what you say. These kids come into the world innocent, and then they go through so much abuse from the, you know, either the birth family or they're shuffled around. And by the time they're 3-4 years old, they already have so much emotional and physical damage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, operations. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just I had originally called, I'm from Canada, so obviously we have different names for our child protection services or different acronyms or whatnot. But I think from watching Mommy's channel that the bottom line is both countries are lacking in the family services aspect of it, as well as the mental health aspect from any help. And ironically, the only time these things get risen is when these people are before a judge, when some tragedy has happened. And I've been, I think when I was listening to the opening defense that you were talking about, Mommy, earlier with the Jones case, it irritates me beyond belief because he's not the only one who's had stress in life. The majority of the people on this chat, I would be probably good to bet, have had stress in their life. I have had 15 years of stress, and it didn't make me kill my children. It made me get sent to a certain nerve condition. I've had dealings with mental health illness in my family. Yes, I know there are certain mental health illness that make you outwardly hurt people, but the general time it's inwardly done, they're people who injure themselves, they harm themselves because they're frustrated with whatever's going on in their mind. And it's usually inwardly from, like I said, 15 years. I've helped families with people who have mental health illness in their family to support the family members who have just been newly diagnosed. And it isn't a pretty picture, but I think just like with anything else, if you're educated about it, it makes people like a family member understand it better. But I think when you give a perpetrator or an accused like this Jones man and every other person who's killed kids or other people and use mental illness as their reasoning, that is what gives the rest of the people who actually have mental illness situations it could be anything from anxiety to schizophrenia to, there's a slew of them, different diagnoses.
I'm going to be I'm sorry.
I couldn't agree with you more, and God bless you for, what you've been through. But I couldn't agree with you more. Not everybody that has anxiety, panic, schizophrenia, bipolar, the list goes on and on. Even their own trauma, PTSD, whatever it is, they don't go on. They don't have
earlier, I saw in the chat that sexual abusers were sexually abused themselves. And I say BS to that. My children went through that. And I know this is going to be, it might be a little bit controversial, but to me, if you know what that hurt was like, why would you turn around and hurt someone else with it? If you do that, you need help, but you can't use it as an excuse. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not real. I know that's why it's a cycle. There's a circle of it.
You can go through all of you can be traumatized. You can have PTSD. You can have panic, anxiety, whatever. That doesn't mean you're going to hurt your own. It's almost like you want to be better to your children if you've gone through something.
Exactly.
You don't want to have that pain. That's breaking the cycle.
I think anybody.
A bad name.
Operation Z has Operation Z once, Z. You guys say Z.
No, I think anybody who is human, anybody who has lived any type of life at all has some kind of psychological issues, because that is just a part of everyday life, trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
And that is a part of what we go through. That is what we grow from, and that is what makes us stronger. So when you're going through a really difficult time, let's use your first breakup, for example, and you feel the butterflies and the anxiety because you don't want someone else to have the love of your life. These are all things that are necessary for us to feel so that we can grow later. You have some people that say, I was beat as a child, so nobody showed me love growing up. Why should I show the world love? And I'm telling you, I was beat and raped as a child. I love my children more than I love myself. And if anyone ever laid hands to them, I would end up in prison for the rest of my life. Now, here's the thing. Anybody can use it as a crutch. Well, nobody showed me love. Listen, my stepdad yelled at me from the time I was 3 up until present day. And I'm telling you, the guy is just an evil, rotten, mean son of a bitch. Excuse the language. But you can use that as a crutch. Now, nobody raised me showing me love, but I taught myself how to love through the hate. So through hate, you will find love, and I preach that all the time on my channel. Through dark, you'll find light. Through hate, you'll find love, vice versa.
You know what?
Hate, we're born knowing nothing but love. Hate is something we're taught, and then we have to learn how to love all over again. But we're capable, and we know right from wrong.
Unless you're a psychopath or a sociopath.
Well,
so I don't know. But I mean, a person, they're born with that, quote, brain injury. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist, but they're born with that defect. So they're going, there's no way of saying, okay, I was in this, because they can't even feel that. But I know what you're saying, and I'm sorry for what you went through, but look, it made you want to protect your children and also, have that empathy and that, just that knowing that.
These are later in life children. I mean, I spent 13 years as a single father. I raised my daughter by myself, and then my son, when he was 7, he came to live with me, and now my daughter's grown and my son's still with me. So I have 2 later in life babies now that it's the same thing. I mean, but no, I understand what you're saying. There are people that are born with that part of the brain that's kind of dead at birth, where they don't feel empathy and they don't feel sympathy for other people. That is without a doubt a defect. I didn't really mean them per se, but I'm talking about the majority out there that will use that as a crutch. So, well, nobody showed me love, and
it's an insult, I think, to people that, or not an insult, wrong word again, but it's kind of late here. I mean, it's just like, you know, a cop out. Okay, I'll pull the mental illness card, you know?
right.
Well, yeah, that's what I was referring to when people go before a judge and they claim this mental card, mental insanity, mental illness, and it's like, it is no wonder that the rest of the population that has some form of something or other doesn't want to talk about it, and it's so hidden still. It's because they put it on this crazy, like totally crazy.
But they do the
path
same
of,
thing with spousal abuse, like Jodi Arias did.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then she was suddenly, after telling 2 other versions of the story, then she's suddenly abused by him. And that's why she was killing him in self-defense. So she stabbed him 27 times, shot him, slit his throat, and, before leaving the house. So.
You know what, honestly, Carolyn, I think if the sad reality is, we could probably talk about this for a month. And the bottom line comes down to the defense lawyers should not be able to use that type of a defense. If there is legitimate grounds, like there's a file, like a police file to back it up, or
brain injury,
anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, if they can do the X-rays or the MRIs, and they could show that part of the brain that is typically associated with psychopaths isn't functioning like a normal person, then I believe that defense should be used. But at the same time, I also think that if somebody is a grown person, that people should learn how to pick up on these signs long before it gets to they're adults and they go out and they hurt somebody. But I guess that's asking for a perfect world. But these people more than likely have seen doctors growing up, maybe a little bit more in-depth psychiatric evaluations, and send people for MRI so that they can catch this stuff ahead of time.
But I don't know but here there are so many people that self-diagnose. It is crazy. Like
that's everywhere. That's a Google thing.
Like, how do you know that you're going through it's a panic attack? Well, I read up on it. I'm like, oh my God, if you read up, you're dying of some sort of cancer too. Like, you can't just, self-diagnose. But I don't know what the answer is. Like, I've had to, personally, I've had to call Child Protection Services before, and it isn't a very good feeling, but it had to be it was for my neighbor's 3 kids, and it had to be done. And it broke my heart. She never knew it was me, but it broke my heart. And it wasn't because I was taking the kids away from an abusive mom and dad. It was because I didn't know where the kids were going. Is it going to be worse? That was my mentality. So you never know, right? And
Right, though. I mean, you followed your heart and your gut. It wasn't a vindictive thing. You said wrong. I mean, there are people that do it vindictively against their exes or in custody battles and all of that. But you were doing it out of, kindness and, your heart and your gut feeling. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I guess it's just one of those things you feel like. I mean, the police were always there anyway, so it wasn't like they weren't known to the the whole.
Okay, we have a Operation. Hold on, we have a question for Operation Z in the chat. Are you following the Jones case?
Me? No.
Oh, okay, because somebody wanted to know what you thought of the defense. Do you know he killed his 5 children? He killed all 5 children.
Give me a quick briefing.
Yeah, he killed all 5 children. He drove through 3 states with them. He had custody of them. He worked for Intel. They say, he was very good in math and computers. And so he was discharged from the Navy. He was taking mood-altering drugs, but then he went to prison and he found Jesus and he lived his life according to the Bible. Then this is what the defense is saying. They're not mentioning that he was high on spice or with the synthetic marijuana when he killed his kids. They don't mention that. They say that he believed in the literal interpretation of the Bible, and that, that's what they're making him sound like he was a great guy. But meanwhile, he beat one of his children to death, and they were all under 8 and under. Okay, he strangled the 2 others with his bare hands, and then the 2 youngest ones he strangled with a belt. Put them all in garbage bags, drove around with them in his Cadillac Escalade through 3 states for a few days. Then he buried them.
Whoa. And the defense after he killed his kids is he found Jesus? Doesn't everybody find Jesus?
No, he found Jesus before.
What?
Yes, he found Jesus before.
Okay, first, whether it's fake marijuana or real marijuana. No, I don't smoke marijuana, but I have smoked marijuana, and that is the least threatening drug out there.
Oh, but it had the flakka in it.
Yeah, I think the guy should get the electric chair because there's something fucking wrong with the guy. Because if he's smart and he's intelligent, clearly his brain is working properly. I think this was a personal choice because whatever reason, I don't know, but it just sounds to me.
Well, Mommy, we can't.
I think they should give him an MRI, see if his brain, all aspects of his brain is functioning properly. If it is, give him the chair.
Who knows what was in the marijuana, though?
The flakka, baths.
I wonder about that.
But still, there's people. I mean, you do have that guy in Florida that ate the people's faces off with the flakka.
Yeah, he was on the Greyhound.
But he wasn't.
Wait.
What?
There was a guy on the.
Are you talking about bath salt?
Yeah, they have flakka in the marijuana.
Oh, yeah, no, that was a problem here in Florida too. Some guy ate another guy's face under a bridge, and
he ate the neighbors. Yeah.
Somebody here in Florida ate another guy's face under a bridge, but some lady dropped her child off with her mom to babysit while she worked, and when she came home, she seen her mom on bath salt. Her mom had ate her son, was laying there with the body parts laying on her lap. Yeah, that stuff I hear is bad.
Well,
man.
I thought he had originally said that the kids, that someone or the voices were telling him.
Oh, the voices were, the voices were telling him that his children that are 8 and under, 8 to 1, were going to chop him up and feed him to the dogs if he didn't kill them.
Yeah. So they're not doing that anymore?
Listen. Can I just say one quick thing?
Mm-hmm.
Can I? I'm just going to say.
Go ahead.
This.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't want to live anymore without my children. So if the guy is trying to fight to stay alive, then in my personal opinion, that in itself is lack of empathy. If anything happens to one of my kids, I don't want to live no more. They're my reason for getting up.
Right.
I just can't say that with enough, like clinching. If the guy did a drug that made him kill his 5 children, and then he sobers up and he's fighting to stay alive, I think there's something wrong there. Period. I would want to die.
Right, but you know what? Can I say something? Wait, listen. If along those lines, right? Because this is what I've said, and there are certain groups out there that will disagree with the. Let's just look at the Chris Watts case. Okay, they say that maybe he didn't mean to kill his kids. Maybe he accidentally killed one of his kids. Okay, and then he had to kill the other. They say this because it was collateral damage. Now I have 5 kids. Okay, I can tell you that if any craziness happened, right, and I accidentally killed one of my 5 kids, I'm not going to say, oh boy, you know what? I have to kill the other 4 now. I never understood this thinking. I would turn myself in and say, I wouldn't kill my other 4 children as collateral damage. And there are people out there saying this, that he didn't mean to, he had to because it was collateral damage.
Well, I have a completely different, 100% different take on the Watts case. because when I went through and I was doing the study, and I mean, when I first started reporting on the Watts case, it was like moderating what I thought he was thinking through the interrogation, and oh my God, he knows he's busted when the cops are there. It was your kind of traditional way of looking at the case. And then the more I started doing research into it, I've known about these higher powers, secret societies that everybody thinks is not real. They're actually real. And it goes back to an old pagan ritual. They believe in pagan sacrifice, but on a much larger scale. The same way that somebody would sacrifice a goat to have good crops for the following year, these people sacrifice people to stay in power. It's just their belief system, and people don't really wrap their mind around that, but they use what's called post-hypnotic commands to brainwash people. Like in today's day and age, they'll pop things up on your news feed, like, are you stuck in a bad marriage? Explosion here, are you depressed? And they just constantly drill you until you're just absolutely mind warped. Well, in this case, you have to really look at it. Like, what really caught my eye was the American Horror Story Season 8 teaser. It played out exactly like the murders. Okay, woman buried in a fetal position in a shallow grave, just like Shanann. Then there was the explosion, which Anadarko had an explosion in 2017 that killed a couple in a residential area. Then you've got the skulls being submerged in oil, just like the children. So then I started looking like, okay, this can't be a coincidence. That teaser acted as a post-hypnotic command. So then I started doing more research, and I found out Anadarko owned assets in a company called Eagle Ford Shale. They sold to Blackstone. Blackstone owns Vivint. Vivint now has contracts with Apple. So when you trace it all back to these major corporations, they are making billions off of the murder. And the day Chris came out with the interview alone, Vivint came out with a new patch, or LaBelle came out with a new patch. I mean, the whole thing just screams conspiracy fact. So my way of looking at it is a little bit different from your average person. I personally think that things were just coming up on his news feed. I think he was absolutely brainwashed. Now, whether he was a target of it or whether he just kind of fell into that mindset, but I can say that, a lot of sources are saying that even now there's just something different.
I think he was brainwashed, but I think he was brainwashed from his mistress.
I just stepped on a spider and it hurt.
I agree with you. I think that mistress, he almost had a
the mistress for sure. But here's the thing with the mistress. Now, I went into searching her. There was no school records. There was nothing. I even had my fill of it, and I made a video that says, now watch, you give it 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're going to start seeing credentials pop up out of nowhere on this woman that were not there before. Now she's got a college record, which everyone says, well, why can't we find her? She worked for Anadarko, right? I went to the Department of Corporations in Colorado, and she actually had her own company under Bablitz LLC.
Satya Consulting.
Rachel Nicole. So, and then she had another corporation under a different name that, I can get into a different time, but the woman is a ghost. She was conditioned from birth to play this role. Now, I think her name is being pinged, kind of like if you talk about cat litter and then cat litter pops up on your phone. It's the same thing, because now every time you search something, like how I began to find out who this woman was, her buddy Guido, the only one truth in that fake profile photo was Sunburst. So I looked up Sunburst and I found Guido, Jim, under a different name as an employee there, and the owner of the company's name is actually Jim. And then 2 days later, I went back to save all this stuff to file, and it was a completely brand new website. This guy never even existed, was nowhere in there. So information that I was able to find 1 week was absolutely gone the following week, and then information, it was just too much of a coincidence. So I cut it off. It's just, the people know what they're doing. They've got the resources to back it up, and just as fast as you can doubt her credentials, fake credentials are being popped up online every day, college records and everything else. So it's just too fast-paced for me to keep up with.
Okay, but to let you, what about your kids? Like, you have, how many kids do you have? You have 5?
In total, or the babies?
The total kids.
Total kids. I've got 6 total.
Okay, So, but can you agree with me that if you accidentally or whatever killed one child, you're not going to look around and say, I have to kill the other 5?
No. Oh my God. Like I can't even process a thought like that.
But that's what I'm just trying to process, that some people really, no matter who it is, believe that this is a valid reason for somebody to kill the rest of their children.
You know what's good about that though is that these people, when they fight in that defense, these people should be round up and locked up themselves or just shipped off to an island where nobody exists. Because there's not something that they're not firing on all 4 cylinders.
Yeah,
if you accidentally hurt one of your kids, your instinct isn't to kill the rest of your kids because you hurt one. It's
right. What kind of life are you going to live?
Sorry for the language, but call the ambulance.
Right.
Something.
Well, that's what I've said. I said, because who would want to live that? So I kill all the rest of my kids, 5 kids. Oh, and then they'd say, you accidentally killed your spouse too. So then I killed my spouse, all my 5 kids, and then I'm going to be alive and I'm going to have a great life. So that makes sense.
Mommy, I have a question.
That's a morbid way of looking at it.
I don't understand the collateral damage. I don't understand. Can you explain?
Yeah, they say that, okay, let's just say, like in the case of Watts, but they would say it in any case, okay, that if he killed his wife, right, and then the little girl saw it, he had to kill her because she saw it and she'd tell on him, okay? And then he would have to kill the sister because now he couldn't leave her alive. He'd have to kill them all because Cece couldn't live without Bella or the mother. So it was crazy. So he had to kill her out of collateral damage. He had killed both girls instead of just, if he killed his wife and his little girl saw it, instead of just saying, that's it, hands up, I'm gone, take me away, right? No, he's got to kill her.
Can I interrupt to say one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I was the first one to go to Google Earth, and I really was. I remember people took my video left and right, but I went to Google Earth, and I remember seeing that second gravel path that could have been used as a second driveway. So then I lined up the car that they shown in that video clip pulling out. Well, the garage was about 20 foot up higher than where that car pulled out of, and the garage was at a 45-degree angle. So you would have never seen that car with as far away from Nate's camera as it was. That car had to have pulled out of that gravel strip. Now, that's the first thing. But the second thing is I freeze framed it. The person was wearing a hat. You could see the light coming off her phone. My personal opinion is NK was there. I think that Shanann told them that her flight was delayed because Nicole Atkinson convinced her to try to catch Chris Cheaton because of how he had been acting the months prior. I think she came home early. Nicole was there. I think maybe Nicole and her got into it, and maybe she did the damage at first, and Chris says, you know what, I'll take care of it, you just need to get out of here.
Is there any proof that she was there? I know someone was saying something about how they saw a phone lighting up in the passenger.
That was me. I actually made the video. I freeze framed her walking out. Now, in the original video that I posted, I thought it was looped, and then I went back. It wasn't looped. The first person walked out, and then the second person walked out, and that's when the lights on Chris's truck lit up, like he hit the unlock button on his keys. But when the first person walked out, I freeze framed it. I blew it up. It was somebody wearing a hat, and you could see the reflection. She was looking down at her cell phone, and the light from the reflection was coming back up on her face. The video is still up.
What's the consensus on that? The people saying she was there, he hasn't.
I don't know that for sure. And again, I'm thinking just by the video that I've seen and everything that I've kind of put together, I think Nicole Atkinson convinced her to go home early to catch him cheating because of how he was acting. And I think NK was there. She did the damage at first. Chris being so madly in love figured, you know what, you get out of here, I'll clean up the mess, and that's when he made the decision to get rid of Shanann's body that NK killed. And then he figured he had no choice but to keep the children, and they would live happily ever after. I think NK was there, and she did the damage on Shanann.
Why do you think he's coming out with, he did I don't know, there was some other information on him that he was talking again. Do you think he's going to say something about her, like he was involved, or, in his psychopathic, crazy mind? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I think to determine him being a psychopath, I think he would be the perfect person to run an MRI on to see if that part of the brain is firing up. I mean, they could tell from sports players and football players what part of the brain is affected by multiple hits. So they could do an MRI and see if that part is functioning. If it is, then we can rule out the fact that he's a psychopath and then kind of go from there. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything about him, talking about anybody else or anything like that.
Lately, if he has, he's been talking, well, I guess this was like weeks ago or maybe a month ago when the detectives went back in and did another interview with him. I mean, I have no idea where she is now. Is she like kind of disappeared, you said?
I tracked down the house that her father allegedly lived in. There was no record of him living there, but there was voting records from 7 years prior of him living there. And that's, as far as her, it showed she was an active resident in the alleged father's house with a 50-year-old woman. So as far as, I mean, what I know up to date, from a pretty close source, is that he, oh my God, I just had a brain fart. No, I don't know anything. I have no idea. Like, I stopped researching anything about it. I mean, the couple of videos I just come out with today and yesterday is from an undisclosed source that that knows him very well. I'm talking to them. So I haven't heard anything about him coming out with any new information. What I can tell you is the two detectives flying across country to interview a guy they locked up is something that I don't think has ever happened on any murder case ever. That in itself is strange. I don't think what he said in the interview was true. I think that the guy is still walking around in a completely hypnotized state. And if you want my personal opinion, I think it's going to take one word. It's going to take one song. It's going to take something at some point that he's going to hear, and it's going to be like turning the light switch off. And that is when it's going to really hit home what had happened. I mean, from what I'm hearing, he is not, he's not the same person. He's a totally different person, talks different, acts different. He's just not the same person. So
I wonder if it's possibly medicated, though, in jail or in prison. Could he be medicated?
I guess if you told them in prison that you have issues, they possibly could medicate you, but I don't think that's the case. No, I'm going to lean towards, and the reason I call it conspiracy fact is because when you take the discovery files, you're talking about people that work at such a high level that, anything that's going to be in print is going to be what they want the judges and the public defenders to see. Anything that's going to be fact, you have to kind of put it together on your own because it's not going to be in print. Anytime you put something in print, you're liable for it. So the discovery files, I had found that my conspiracy fact has more fact to back it up than the discovery files. And I actually put out a challenge, and the only two people that took me up on that challenge backed off and says, you know what, I'm making too much sense in what I'm saying. So this challenge still stands. If they can put any facts from the discovery files that has more facts than my conspiracy, yeah, I'll shut my channel down. I don't know. My personal opinion, NK was there, and I think NK and Shanann got into it. I think she did Shanann, and it's just an opinion. And then Chris, being so madly in love, says, "You leave, I'll take care of it." That's my opinion. I don't think he did Shanann. I know that video. I blew it up. That was a woman. You could go back to my videos and watch it. She's looking down at her phone. You could tell she's wearing a ball cap. It was still a little frizzy. She was wearing a ball cap. You could see the light reflecting off her phone onto her face. And then the second person walks out, and that's when the lights on Chris's truck light up like he hit the unlock button on the truck. Then you see the car pull out. What's that?
I did see your video.
Kids is a little floppy pussy, huh? Jews rape kids. 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 Jews rape kids.
You know.
Hey, Carolyn, I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute.
Hey, Carolyn, you got him, right?
Yeah, take his name and you can actually report him into YouTube on his name for terrorist behavior. It's a more in-depth application you got to file out, but the FBI will investigate the guy. I mean, that's promoting terrorist behavior right there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Carolyn, it's me, Dawn. Can you hear me?
Dawn, yes, okay, I'm on mute again. That's why you can't hear me. So,
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
So
Everybody was asking me to call in just to set a couple of things straight from your other caller.
But Dawn, yeah, introduce yourself. So, because I don't think Operation knows who you are.
Oh, okay, sure. Hey, Operation, I am a retired homicide detective out of LA. So I just retired. I was a detective for 14 years at Homicide Bureau. And prior to that, I had a 30-year service record. So unfortunately, I mean, all your conspiracy theories are really cool and everything, but we do medicate inmates. It's done not only at the local level, but the state level and the federal level.
Well, I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say that. I didn't say. Hey, well, you can, but I didn't. But you're already trying to shut me down, and I never once said.
No.
I'm not
trying to shut you down at all. I'm just saying that I heard you say, because I'm a moderator in the chat, so I was listening. But I
said it's possible, but I don't think so.
Yeah. No. We do medicate them, actually. And we do treat them for any mental illness, whatever they need, okay? So just so you know, we do have nurses, doctors on staff. Every prison does, every county facility does, every federal facility does. We really try to help them in any way we can. So just so you know, that's all I'm telling you.
Okay. So have you dug into this? I mean, have you researched it? Is Chris being medicated?
I have not researched whether he is being medicated or not personally. I can just tell you that things are available.
It's possible he might be, but I don't think so.
Well, he could be, sure, but I don't know. It would be on him, and it would be, every time inmates are sent to a new prison, they get a psychiatric evaluation as well as a physical evaluation. So they make them go through like this lengthy medical process. And so they check them, make sure they're not suicidal. They have conversations with him. The psychiatrist goes and has a sit-down meeting with them. So if they talk to them and they express in any way, shape, or form that they're distressed or they feel a certain way or they exhibit symptoms of schizophrenia or anything like that, any mental illness, then they will send them to a MD and they'll prescribe them medication and they will give it to them. I mean,
sure, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that one bit.
That's up to them. Yeah. But
right. I don't doubt that one bit. But according to all the interrogation videos, he showed no remorse and he showed no suicidal behavior. And he was still trying to deny it right up to the last minute, very cool, calm, and collective. So there was no erratic, irrational behavior that would indicate suicidal behavior. Even after the fact, when somebody would think about suicide, he gave the interview saying that he found God and he's relaxed and he's going to try to help other inmates. So it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of like radical behavior that would indicate suicidal behavior and things of that nature as far as this particular case. Now, is it possible that, yeah, I could totally see whack jobs going in there just completely unhinged and they have to medicate them just to keep them at bay. I don't think, as a matter of fact, I'd almost guarantee that's not the case in this case.
Well, they always look for depression too. And, the symptoms of depression are low mood, talking in that monotone voice. There's other symptoms, and I'm not a psychiatric professional, but I mean, there are those cases as well. That's why they have that evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm just like, from my viewpoint, just so you know.
Well, no, I mean, you said that my conspiracy theory was cool, but if you actually researched it, you'd see it's a fact. It's not cool. It's actually fact. There's facts to back up every conspiracy.
I can agree to disagree. I mean, that's cool, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
But now, if you had the facts, you would still disagree to disagree?
Well, do you have the facts? I mean, right now you just have
I
like
do.
a thought process. You
No,
do? How do you have
the facts were laid out. The facts were laid out. As a matter of
Where?
fact, I
In
presented it.
writing? Where?
Oh my God, no! I posted the videos that got over 4,000 views before YouTube took them off. There's a couple
Well, that's
still
not
up
a
there,
fact.
but
Just
no,
because
it's
you
all.
posted a YouTube
Not only
video.
is it fact, but it's all on Google. You could research it yourself.
I will, but I don't agree with you, and I think you're wrong. So sorry.
Okay, well, research it
Yeah.
and then tell me I'm wrong.
Oh no, I'll tell you you're wrong now. I'm okay with that.
Well, you should research it first, don't you think?
No, because I watched the video as well, and I just don't agree. And the fact that you're calling it a conspiracy theory leads me to believe that.
No, I
it may
didn't.
not be true.
Oh, I didn't. I
No,
didn't.
you
I call it
did.
conspiracy fact.
Oh, conspiracy.
I call it conspiracy fact.
Isn't that kind of like one of those things?
I'll tell you what, this is where I'm going to cut it off, because this is where you have people that want to sound smart but are very ignorant calling into your station. So you guys have a good night.
Oh my goodness. Good night.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was fun.
Sorry, Carolyn.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
I was trying to explain it to him, but he just didn't want to hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, there's so much misinformation, especially about the companies that she worked for. You know, I don't know. Yeah, it's just, I don't think, I don't know why that somebody has to, that's like somebody has to leave because they can't, I don't know. But whatever. Are you guys still here? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or am I on mute again? I don't know if I'm on mute anymore because like I'm blurry. Sorry. Jimmy has me blasted. Jimmy, mute that please. Sorry. You have me blasting. It's echoing. Carol, we started on. So while you're here, D. Clue Girl, you got to shut that mute. You got to mute that. Okay. Did you have any thoughts on the defense for the Jones case?
Okay, so I don't have anything on the Jones case, but I watched the McNabb case today. Do you want me to talk about
Oh
that?
yeah, please. Yeah, we were going to do that before, but we were waiting for Aussie. So yeah, let's go.
Oh, is she ready?
Yeah, I'm sure she is now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the interesting thing that I found when I was watching a couple of those, especially when the coroner was talking, oh my goodness, I was looking at both of the parents, and the one thing I noticed right away was the father could not squeeze out a tear, and the mom unfortunately squeezed out one tear, but she like stopped crying right away, and then they both hid their faces. And I don't know if you noticed, but the dad, he put his hands on his face, then his head, then his ears, like he did not want to hear it. He did not want to see it. He did not want to acknowledge it. It was just like horrific to watch him do that. Just those are the typical signs of like total guilt. Like he just could not handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not talking about the sentencing. I didn't see them doing that in the. This is Cece, by the way, in Cherry Hill.
Okay,
You're not talking about the sentencing. I remember seeing that during the trial, but the sentencing.
It was during the trial. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did see that, but the sentencing, I didn't see any of that. In fact, I think she was offered a tissue and she declined the tissue. She was able to squeeze out a few tears, but I think for herself.
Right.
Yeah.
It was interesting to me. It was kind of like when I saw the father doing that. I mean, I don't care about tattoos. I don't care what you're doing, how you're dressed. It was nice that they had them both in street clothes at their trial. That was nice, that, so people could look at them for who they were and not in a prison jumpsuit. But he was just covering himself, like he was trying to hide from what he had done. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this guy is really just, he did it to me in my mind. I may be looking at it from the wrong point of view, but in my mind, that's how I saw it.
Did
Yeah, what
can
do
I
you think?
can I ask you a question, Dawn, about the, because that was like the weirdest trial. First of all, do they normally? They didn't even have them stand to read the verdict. Don't they normally have them stand and read when they read the verdict?
Yeah, they do. Normally they have them stand when they read the verdict. The judge tells them to stand up and then he'll read the verdict. You know, it's kind of like a show of respect for the court. You know what I mean?
Right, and they just read them like all together. Like it was nobody. Did anybody find that kind of crazy? They were they were seated, and then the next thing I know, somebody had an outburst. Right, one of them had an outburst, and then they took them both off, and then they said, okay, we're going to sentence them now. We're going to bring them back one at a time, and only if they can behave. And if they can't behave, we have to have somebody back with them, and maybe we'll stream it from Facebook or something. And it was just bizarre. And then just the way he let them like talk, I was very surprised because he was so upset about one of them going on, the mother going on the internet. But then he was just like letting them talk. Like there's no protocol whatsoever. You know, you just whatever you want to say. And when the judge read it, it was no big moment. I mean, he didn't. It really. I was like, wait, that was the whole verdict. You know, for both of them. It was just.
So remember when he read it and he said to them, he said to the father, he said, well, what do you think should happen to the person that did this? And he said, I think they should go to prison forever, or. And he's like,
He said they should be buried.
What,
he said they should be buried under the prison.
yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
he was like, okay, that's what's going to happen to you, pretty much. So.
And the other thing is, did they make a mistake showing the jury walking out?
Yeah.
They did, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the judge. If he decides that he doesn't want anybody taking video or photos of the jury, they can make the press face one way in the hallway as the jury is exiting and not video them at all. But if he didn't make that rule in court after the trial, then sometimes, the reporters will catch them right outside the door. We have that happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because they had them walking out, and then then they suddenly went up to the ceiling, like as if someone caught it at the very end. That, oh my gosh, you showed the jurors walking out, because they showed them walking to the side and then down the aisle. I think it was a mistake.
It could have been an error. I mean, sometimes, you know how reporters are. Sometimes they'll do anything to get the shot, so.
Yeah, and I kept thinking when they kept saying, are we going to have any outbursts? I kept thinking what you said about those guys that go to the bathroom and then throw it. That's all I kept thinking of, that he was going to do something like that.
To do what? Say it again?
That he was going to, have something to go to the bathroom in his pants and throw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because the way they were like, I was like really worried. And when the prosecutor was doing her closing arguments, he was looking at her like he was going to kill her. I would have been very frightened if I was her, because she was hammering him, and I just thought he's like unstable. So maybe he does have do they have a shock? People said he had a shock belt on.
Yes, we used to have those too. Yeah. So we would call it riding the electric wave, but basically it's like a belt and it gives you a nice fancy shock. And one of the, what we do is we'll test it in front of the inmate before we put it on, so they can hear it and see it and know what would happen if they didn't follow the rules while they were in court. And so one deputy will be standing behind them, and then another one will be having the control to the shock belt. And so it's like a little remote control button. So if they do something or get out of control, try to spit at the judge, throw something around the court, punch the DA, punch the defense attorney, whatever, then they'll give them a shock, and then they just kind of go to the ground. So.
Did you see when they had the psychologist or the doctor? I guess she had a doctorate in psychology get up and speak about when she examined him, and he was in the turtle color, I guess it's called, and I guess she said he was doing something. Obviously he didn't have underwear on, and he was doing something. He denied that he had been exposing himself and doing something.
Right. He said
pretty-
pleasuring himself until he finished is what she said on the
Right.
stand. Yeah. Okay. That was that was odd.
And he completely denied that. And my question would be, isn't that videotaped when they're, I know they were between glass, but isn't everything recorded?
That's what I thought. Yeah. It's not, Dawn? You think that wasn't?
Not. Are you saying that they were in the interview room? Because I kind of missed the first part of that.
No, not in the interview room. They were in between glass. She was examining him, and there was glass in between them. But he was
between him and the psychiatrist?
Him and the psychologist that was examining him.
Oh yeah, no, they try to, they do a lot of things, if they're trying to, have the psychiatrist or psychologist say that they're crazy and unfit for trial. So they'll do stuff like that. They'll masturbate in front of them. Like I said, they'll do crazy stuff in there just to try to get that,
Right, but he denied doing it. And my question is, wouldn't that be on tape of some sort?
No, not necessarily, no.
Oh, okay.
Only because there's a right to privacy, and we have to be very careful about when either the attorney or the psychologist is interviewing them. If the psychologist is sent in there on behalf of the defense, which is normally how it works, then we have to be very careful about not having any recording devices or video devices, because then we'd be violating the attorney-client privilege.
Right.
So we can't do that, right?
I think she was with the defense, actually. Oh,
yeah, I think she probably was, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just say one other thing, and I don't know. I sort of think what we look like and how we dress and how we present ourselves. Certainly, a judge expects us to be respectful in how we're dressed, and not that I've ever been before a judge, but I mean, they just expect them to be, appropriate. And I don't know. I don't want to judge someone and what they look like, but I don't know if it was an art form he had on his face, but I don't.
Well, I
don't
think
know.
the stuff like that, it is a nonverbal message that you are what you are. If you put a gang tattoo on your face, right? You're telling the world.
Right.
So in that respect, I think people are they feel the same about these other tattoos.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really see the tattoos when I was watching him, but there was a lot of nonsense, which I would attribute to just the drug use.
Yeah, that's probably true. And again, I mean, it doesn't make someone guilty because they look. They're not the norm. I mean, it doesn't make him guilty, but it just sends almost a deviant message, or maybe an unstable message, or I mean, a face is. I mean, that's there permanently, and there was just. I mean, our face is our face.
Right.
I don't know.
It's what we present to the world. Sure.
Exactly. And not judging what somebody thinks is art or what, but it was like almost beyond the norm.
Right, it was a little beyond the pale, sure. But like I said, I think that has to do with the drug usage for him. Because, you know, you could see that there was some artwork, like he was sleeved, like down to his wrist bone on one hand, but then on the other hand, it was all over his hand and it was kind of running over and it was kind of messy. Like there wasn't a real pattern to some of it. So like I said, that could have been, you know, some of the drug use or something in there as well.
What's the connection with drug use and that sort of a marking? Do you know? I mean, is it just they become impulsive, or is it what is the connection there?
I just think it's impulsive. Yeah, I just think it's an impulse. They just start marking and they just, you know, once they have one tattoo, then they're like, oh, this would look cool. And then, you know, you're not thinking clearly how something is going to look afterwards. You're not really thinking about the consequences of your actions at that point. So I just think that
costs money, and they didn't seem to, you know, have a lot financially. So
I'm sure that they didn't pay for it.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I think they did them. They might have gotten the $49 kit on Amazon if they at the most.
Right.
Seriously, they weren't professionals. They were like prison tattoos. Yeah. So, but I do have a question. I liked the way he tried at the end to clarify with the judge, just because he beat the mother doesn't mean that he killed his child, and that he thought it was really good that he doesn't really ever think that he beat her up in front of the kids. So that was, you know, that was you know, a good thing.
Well, maybe he was trying to express to the judge that he was an upstanding guy because he didn't beat his girlfriend or wife.
Oh, he was. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. He was saying, you know, I don't, you know, just because I beat her up and we have domestic things, it doesn't mean that I would hurt my baby. And, you know, come to think of it, I care about my kids. I wouldn't lay a hand on them. In fact, I don't think I ever hit her in front of the kids. You know, so he's a good guy.
That's not a very helpful statement, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked that his attorney allowed him. Well, maybe his attorney didn't know he was going to say, no, I had an excellent attorney. I'm not going to, you know, fire him or whatever he said on that. I thought that was, if he does want any sort of appeal, which I don't think is going to, you know, happen. I think he's away forever. But to state that, no, I'm perfectly happy with my defense, I was a little shocked at that. Were you, or?
Yeah, I didn't hear that part, but I will tell you that every defense attorney, if their client says you're going to file that appeal, they immediately file it within a week. They have them already printed up. They just, on their computer, they have them ready to go. They just insert the names, maybe change a little bit of the verbiage as to why, and they are in there within a week filing those appeals, the first stage of the appeals in court with the judge. And as far as him being happy with his defense, he'll change his tune, and then when he gets to state prison, he'll find somebody else.
Mm-hmm. How long will she actually serve, the mother, in your opinion? I mean, he's there for life, but how long do you still actually serve out of
her? It depends, because it depends how crowded the women's prison is. Unfortunately, my experience has been that women tend to do almost all of their time because the prisons aren't as crowded as the male prisons, and that's totally unfair, I think, but it's kind of the way it is. Most women do most of their time. So, you know, she does get good time credit in the county system. I just don't know if she's going to get any you know, if there's any kind of a percentage, especially because it's a violent crime. It caused, you know, it caused the death of a child. So I don't know if they'll let her get off with the 80% rule.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, that would be a tricky one, I think, because most violent offenders, they do their full time. They don't get the 80%, you know, credit kind of thing, you know, where they do 80% of the time and then they're on parole. for a short period of time. And if they don't violate, then they're free. So I don't know. On a violent felony, I know in California, they do not get to do 80% of their time.
Thank you.
Right, because she got 30 years, but she had 15 and then 15 on probation.
Oh, okay. So she'll
Right.
probably do the full 15. She'll probably do the full 15 and then get her probation time, and they'll keep her on probation for 15 years,
Okay, and Dana wants to know, Dawn, if you saw the judge lecture the mother about the using the cell phone in the court, and what you thought about that.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't see that. I'll look for it. Which video was that in?
I think it was the first video, first day.
Oh, the first day? Okay, I'll go back and look. That's pretty funny. I don't know how the mother got a cell phone.
I think,
Whose cell phone was it,
did
the
she
attorney?
take, I think it was the attorney, she took the attorney's cell phone, right? Is that what she did? Is that whose cell phone she used, guys? Gotta wait a second because there's a delay. No, see, somebody's talking about 25 years confined and no, they said 30. I thought they said 30, 15 and 15. Anybody know about the cell phone? You didn't see that? The bus just broke down. Oh boy, save Robbie. Was she checking her Facebook? But whose phone was it? See, now that mommy says she got 30, right? 15 and 15. Well, yes. So, okay. Plus 10 for another drug charge, but but that's running consecutively with the 15. So it's not. It's still 15, right? If it's running consecutively,
right.
Yeah.
Right. It's concurrent, right? Not
Concurrent,
consecutive?
yeah, not consecutive. I'm sorry. Yes, concurrent.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the 10 and the 15 will be served at the same time. Yeah.
Right. So okay. Yeah, but it's running concurrent with Tori with the 15. So she's going to do it at the same time. Anybody have me on the cell phone? Whose cell phone did you use? Okay. The Kool-Aid has been addicting. Save Robbie, my daughter took a bus last weekend, and I don't know what they did, but they got off the wrong exit or something, and I was waiting for her where she was supposed to get off, and they pulled into someone's driveway with a big, short line bus, and they couldn't get out. They couldn't get out. They took about an hour to get out. I said, well, she said he had to make like all these maneuvers. People were going crazy. It was crazy.
Oh.
But anyway, did anybody know about the cell phone? No, she's 27, isn't she, Mildly? She's 27, isn't she? It was her mobile phone, Sakura Girl says.
Really?
I thought somebody said it was the attorney's.
Wow. That's like unheard of. I'm surprised that she didn't get in trouble for having some kind of paraphernalia or something from, get an extra charge from the deputies or something, or the officers who were guarding her. Because, yeah, she can't have that.
Is she 24? There's so much. I thought she's 27. No? How old is he?
Cece, I can hear you.
Are you there?
Oh, are you a
Hello?
new caller, or is this Cece?
Oh no, this is Cece. I didn't know. I knew you were looking at some the feedback here.
I was just looking because some are saying 27. I don't know. I I guess it's a difference of, 3 years. I don't know. I thought I heard 27. McNabb is 29, you think?
He's still relatively young, 29. That's a long time for someone to be in prison for life from 29.
Well, Chris Watts is, oh wait, it's Chris's birthday pretty soon. Tomorrow. Oh, and I have a little tidbit of information. Somebody somebody left a comment on my blog that didn't post, like it goes in the moderated thing, and it said they had insider information that some woman visited him for 2 days for the purpose that she's writing a book. Yeah.
They let her?
That's this is what they said. You've got to look into this. Some woman was seen visiting him for 2 days because she's writing a book about it. Is that true, Teresa?
I wonder if his family set her up with him.
I have no idea if that's, we'll see if a book comes out by somebody that interviewed him, but.
I don't know. Sometimes I hear stuff and I think, because he wants attention so badly, and sometimes I think, oh yeah, that's true. And then I find out later it's like not even
right.
true,
And like they have to go to Mommy Ramblings and leave the comment over there. Like, you better look into this. This is, I have it on very good authority, Yeah,
like you don't have enough to do already, right?
But maybe his parents are going to be there tomorrow on Thursday, the 16th.
Well, didn't he tell them to come in like May or June? Didn't he tell them not to come until then?
Right. Oh, yeah, because he said it would be cold in Wisconsin. But tomorrow is his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's interesting.
They might be going out there to see him. And maybe he said June to throw everybody off.
Yeah, that's... Well, I know if they end up going, it's going to be all over the place, so,
Okay, Christopher's 27, Lily Bell. You don't know how old Courtney is? Maybe at the end it might be 24, and I heard the 27 and thought it was her. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know.
I was putting water in my cup for my coffee, so I muted you. How's that? Is that better?
Did you move in your new house?
No, not yet. It's not until June 3rd.
Oh, right, the day before my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm so happy.
So everything, you got you just have to close on it? Everything is...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just have to close on it. So I'm just waiting, sitting tight.
How do you like the area?
I love the area. It's so nice. I just can't stay here on the open YouTube.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I can tell you guys later. Yeah.
And they have an Ollie's over there?
No. They don't have a lot of that stuff, which is interesting. But I have to get used to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I'll have to, yeah.
I'm going to have to do a lot of mail ordering, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's good. And your cats made it out. They're okay.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Yeah, I'll have to send you guys a picture, and that way you can put it on the screen. One of my cats was a side seat driver. He was sitting next to me on the, on the little thing next to the driver.
Yeah,
where
right.
You lift it up, he was sitting there for probably 3 or 4 hours just cruising. Yeah. Pretty funny.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So you Googled 24 and 27. Okay. Then I heard that wrong. And Lisa says Ollie's is coming to my area. Good for you, Lisa. Enjoy that. Did she move to Italy? No.
I wish.
No, you're going there though for some time on a trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I would love to go there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ladies, I'm going to say good night.
Okay.
And thank you for including me in this.
All right.
Wonderful channel, and I'll tune in again and hopefully chat. And God bless everybody. And thank you again for including me.
Oh, okay. Thank you, and God bless you, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It was great meeting
Bye-bye.
you. Mm-hmm. Bye.
Thanks, Pat.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So let me see here. Carol Lucy, your son's birthday is tomorrow, the same date as Chris Watts. Oh.
Oh, no.
Well, you and Cindy, are they the same age, Carol Lucy? Then you and Cindy gave birth. If they are, then you and Cindy gave birth on the same day. D-Clue, Les Girl, the info tonight was super cool. Thanks, Girl. There, oh, there goes the microwave, see?
Yep, I'm eating my coffee.
And Sharon, maybe Courtney will become prison pen pals. But she was pissed, right? Courtney was pissed. J Bells just texted me. The baby has to be moved, so.
Oh.
So we'll see what is going on.
Well, tonight started out exciting. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Lots of trolls in the chat.
Oh, the trolls in the
we were working hard.
Did they drop
We were
off now?
working
The
hard.
trolls?
I don't know. I think so. I got on because everybody was telling me to get on. So
Oh, wait.
if they don't have any more questions, I can hop off and let somebody else get on here.
All right, just hang on one second. Hi, I didn't know Hi had these kids. Hi, I was surprised you had a daughter. You have a son too. How many kids do you have? Hi. Happy birthday to your son. I thought you were a single guy. Then you said you had a daughter. Now you've got a son. And now you're saying your youngest son's birthday. That means you've got at least one other son.
I think Hi's a little older. I don't think he's a young dude. I think I
No,
remember him saying
I thought
something
he was
like
older too because
he
I
was a
thought
little older.
69 was his year, but I think he's in his 30s.
Oh.
He's fooling everybody with the 69. But his daughter is 16.
Oh, yeah, so he can't be too young
Well,
unless he started at 12.
yeah,
maybe.
see
I don't
Christina
know.
said he's born in 1980.
Oh,
So he's how old? 39?
yeah, he's young, yeah.
He's an enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Hennessy, he was already in the NICU. You're born in 79
BBT?
and you're 39. What?
Where's BBT?
Oh, BBT is, she was here. BBT's been up. Do you know BBT has been up straight? She has not gone to sleep.
Really?
She talked to me until about 6:30 in the morning. And then,
Oh, my goodness.
then we both had to get our kids off to school. And she said to me, "Are you going to go back for a couple of hours?" And I did. But then I asked her, "Did you sleep at all?" And she said, "No, I don't know why. I'm not sleeping at all." She's up now. She's going to be 48 hours, and she'll get hallucinations.
She better.
Because you will up
She
48
better.
hours. Yeah, if you stay up 48 hours.
Yeah, I've been up 48 hours. It's pretty tough, yeah. Her eyes should be burning about right now.
Have you stayed up for 48 hours?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, my eyes were on fire. And I think I got about 4 hours of sleep, and then I worked another 16. So, yeah, it's tough.
She says that he's been stable, but now he's got the jaundice, which I told her the jaundice is common because it's just common, but he's got other issues. So hopefully, yeah, he needs prayers if you want, to do that. That's and she can go with him, but then she's got to go back. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My kids had jaundice, you know.
Oh,
so
my
I got
kids
to
all
sleep
had to
with
go into
cool
the
glasses.
lights. Yeah, the lights and
Yeah, yeah.
fun stuff. So you were up for 4 days straight when your dad was dying, Sakura?
Mm.
After I had my daughter, I can't sleep in the hospital. And I remember I was going on 48 hours and I was telling my sister I was freaking out because I knew that after 48 hours it said you start to have hallucinations. So that's why I say that. Because it was going on 48 hours that I didn't sleep.
Yeah, it's tough. You have to really, we got used to it, but it's really tough to do.
VVT, are you on steroids? Yeah, and I'm worried about don't you think VVT's been sick a long time? She's been sick a long time. Oh, and Bed's well wishes to Jessica Rosenfield. She's in the hospital with pneumonia. A lot of people sick. A lot of people sick with the flu and stuff. And
I wonder if there's something going on. I can't start with conspiracy theories. Though.
Yeah, no, yeah, right there. But no, I mean, it's like really, and Kristen was so sick, Christina, and it's crazy.
Yeah, who's the young lady that's kind of sick? She calls in. She's in the bed. She's really sweet. I like her.
Lily Bell, yeah, she's on the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is she in there? Oh, okay.
She's on chat, yeah, and then Gretchen says there's a lot of crap going around.
Yeah.
They thought you had pneumonia, Wildlife. You had a bad case of bronchitis. You're better now?
Yeah.
Hopefully. They love your sense of I always say that. Medgas guy loves your sense of humor.
Aw.
You're still sick, Anna? And many of your friends are sick? I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Thanks, Karen McCann. I say it like that, Karen McCann, because that's how Luke says it. What is it, Karen McCann? You keep buffering, Labrador? So he did not confess. Who are you talking about, Kemi?
McNabb, probably.
Yamil says everyone loves you, you cool girl.
Oh, Tom, thank you.
She says thank you.
Well, at least one caller doesn't like me.
Tell Dawn to look into. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. That got heated. That escalated quickly. Dana says, tell Dawn to look into the Timothy Jones Jr. trial too, please. Would like to know her opinions on it. Okay, she said
I'm going to watch the opening statements tomorrow, and then I'll follow that one because you gave me the channel so I can look it up.
Yeah, I have to find out because I didn't even look at my email. Can somebody check what's on tap for that tomorrow? Are they going to take? Can they tell you what time that's going to start? They're going to start their coverage because they started late today. And that's not true. And we love you, Emil. Yes, we do.
Oh, I was also listening to the new book, Sitting Across the Table, The Killer Across the Table, or whatever that's called.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I listened to the first 6 chapters or whatever. That guy's really good. He's so far he's right on the money so far. So
oh, good.
I've been listening to him.
Yeah, and I did record another chapter of which I'll Be Gone in the Dark. So I'm going to get that up by hopefully tomorrow for the people that are reading that. And I really want to start on the other book. So you like it though, right?
I was trying to get ready for the next book club meeting because I really want to contribute in the right way. Mm-hmm. So I want to actually listen to the book.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people have read that, but yet, because I know a lot of people got it and couldn't wait to get into it. So, I mean, if you couldn't wait, we can also discuss that. I think some people did not wait,
Yeah, no, I just got it. I just started listening to it, but it's really good so far. So, yeah, I can wait till we have our book club meeting because, I think it's fun.
Okay, so yeah, the baby's gonna have the specialist at that where he's going, so that's the best thing for him. So, does anyone know where we can watch the Jones trial? Yes, it's let me see, I'll give you the station. WLTX 19. Let me see if I can figure out what time this trial starts while I'm here. What's tomorrow, Wednesday? Yes. Okay, it says the first day of the trial, right out here, I'll read you this, then you can see here. The father was wiping, Timothy Jones Jr. wipes away tears during the prosecutor's opening arguments on the first day of his trial in Lexington on Tuesday, March 14th. Jones is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity in the killing of his 5 young children. I didn't see him crying from the opening statement, so I guess that's another picture. It says that Timothy Jones Jr. mind was broken when he killed his 5 children at their trailer in rural Lexington County. His attorney, Rob Madsen, told jurors. And it says Deputy Solicitor Sean Graham argued excuses don't equal insanity. Father's supposed to protect his children. Timothy Ray Jones Jr. is not a father. He's not insane. He's a murderer. And Jones is charged with 5 counts of murder according to arrest warrants. And he killed them because they were going to chop him up. They were going to kill him, chop him up, and feed him to the dogs. Crazy. Tim's forest was on fire.
He's in trial, so obviously his mental incapacity, didn't work. That defense didn't work for him. So now he's in trial, but the defense attorney is going to keep putting it out there, hoping that one juror will bite on it,
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the other thing. Yeah. When he was talking about the seeds and all this, then it came, Tim's forest was on fire. He was really trying to use this visualization about, his brain just being destroyed. And, so they go on, they give everything in this. If you guys want to read, if you missed it, you can read it too there. But let me see if they say when the trial could last several weeks. The jury of 10 women and 8 men will begin hearing from witnesses Wednesday morning. So the witnesses are going to start tomorrow morning. And I believe Amber is the first one.
Really?
I believe so, yes.
And it starts in the morning at what time?
That's what I'm trying to see the time. If you know in the chat, put it down while I'm looking, if you know what time they're starting in the morning. Let's see. Watch live. Okay, so this one says that's Tuesday. Let me see if they have the news for Wednesday. Did they say anything in the chat? Let me see. No?
No, just a channel.
Yeah.
Oh, it says someone said mildly sunny, said 9 a.m.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Kathy says 9 a.m. Living for him says 9 a.m.
BBT said she just saw a donkey fly by. She's having hallucinations. Oh my goodness. I can't.
I don't know if I have an accent to you, but your accent to me cracks me up, a donkey. I think that's so funny. That's cool.
Okay. I've never heard anybody say donkey any other way.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused. Maybe, I guess if they say the morning, it's got to be 9 or 10 or something like that, right?
Is that East Coast time? Or?
Yeah, East Coast time.
Okay.
I think so, right? I mean, they're on the East Coast, Lexington, South Carolina. Hold on a minute. What is going on here? Where's my channel? I got to come back in. Okay. 9 a.m. Oh, you're guessing too, Dana? Eastern. Do you know when it starts, Emil? Anna, do you know that it's 9 a.m. or is everybody just guessing? Mildly sunny, 9 a.m.? 9 Eastern Standard Time, Atacor? Okay. Well, then we better go because we've got to get up early and we've got to get BBT some sleep.
Some sleep, 2 minutes of sleep.
Oh my goodness. He had a diseased forest. Yeah, his forest was on fire. Yeah, you wait till you watch that. Yeah, you'll see he went like the whole distance. He must have just said, "Oh, I'm going to start with seeds, and then we're going to end up with trees, and then we're going to have a huge fire." And he's probably going to do that during like the closing argument too. He might even bring some fire in there.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he's trying hard. He wants that insanity defense for sure.
Right. And BBT was wondering. She wanted me to ask you, just in that McNabb trial, she was under the impression from something else that Courtney, the wife, wasn't going to be charged if the husband was found guilty under the umbrella policy.
No, I think that because Courtney's charge was a little bit different than his, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't her conviction for, what was her conviction for? Wasn't it failure to protect or something?
Right, yeah, and concealing evidence, second degree, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So BBT,
Yeah,
no
so-
umbrella on there.
Yeah, no, not for her because she's considered a participant and hers would have been, I mean, I guess they could have gone accessory, but that would even be less time. But yeah, no, they got her for child neglect or something like that, wasn't it?
There was a bunch of things,
Endangering a
wasn't there?
child?
Yeah, yes, putting the child in danger, right? And and then they actually said, you went out and you were worried about your man there, and instead
Not
of
the
getting your
kid,
meth.
yeah.
And what was the deal? I've got to ask one question. I missed some of the days of the trial, but they said some guy was sitting in the van with a broken jaw and a drain coming out of the back of his head or something. Did I hear that right? No, you got to wait.
I don't know.
I've got to
didn't
wait
hear
for
that.
this. You didn't hear that? Let me see. You say it's WISTV, KTRE TV on YouTube, Mildly? Okay, because there's the other one too.
Yeah, I've got the WLPX 19. Yeah.
His friend who went to the hospital when the baby was born, he had a broken jaw, Priscilla, and a drain coming out of his face or something. And then they said this guy was always beating people up with brass knuckles at the trailer.
Oh, yeah, he's a violent guy. Well, that's what I was going to tell you before I forget. When her father was testifying on the stand, he was looking at that dad, McNabb, like he wanted to frickin' beat the crap out of him.
Well,
He
yeah,
was, trying to stare him down. Yeah.
That's what he was doing to the prosecutor today when she was doing her closing statements. I thought he was, I really thought this guy is going to come flying over that table.
You could really see his anger. And you know what's so funny is when people do that as defendants, it just works against them 100%. And the jury's like, if he looks like that now, can you imagine what he looked like that day when that incident happened? That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought at the end, when he was getting sentenced and he was going away for life, I just thought he was going to do something crazy because, like, what did he have to lose, kind of? I don't know. Sure. But he said he's filing an appeal right away, so I guess he held himself back. But I think if he loses that appeal, if he does get an appeal and he loses it, he'll freak. But somebody said that the guy that had the jaw ate a burrito. I don't know. I mean, I missed some things. I'm going to have to go back because somebody told me they watched it twice already. That it was it was that you know, and something, they were really into that. There's all this, yeah, the poor babies. He tried to eat one. Oh, he tried to eat one BBT, but he couldn't eat the burrito. You're waiting for him to start shaking from the shock belt. Okay, I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, that guy, he has major drug-induced issues, McNabb. It's really too bad, though, too. I mean, theoretically, I mean, when it really comes down to it, I was watching one of the search videos this morning, too, on the police body cam, and they were searching the place. And it was messy, don't get me wrong, but, you know, you can totally tell there's no 2-week-old baby in that place anywhere, you know?
Yeah. I can
And
see.
it's so small. How's she gonna lose her baby? Come on now.
And she's
Yeah,
calling it
I
like
can
it's
believe
gonna,
her.
like it's gonna answer. Like, Mom, I'm right over here.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I can hear you call my name because I know what my name is already. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was crazy. But I have to go back and watch her. I didn't see her birth mother, you know, who's her friend. Didn't see her testify. So somebody said I have to go watch that.
It was pretty interesting. Yeah, she was. You could tell she was trying to cover for her, but I mean, you know, most people do.
Well, her father
know?
her father really wasn't though. I mean, her father was telling it. I think like it is.
No. Yeah.
You know, I
I
think
mean,
he was.
he didn't want to, but I think he knew there was like major issues at that house,
Mhm.
and he probably wishes he would not have given back the children. I'm sure.
Okay, so DEK says he was hit by a piece of asphalt by someone. His jaw was broken and he had a drain coming out from behind his ear. He never got out of the car, and Chris and Courtney put a new preemie baby in that car.
Wow.
Oh, you were messing with BBT? No, okay. Glad he enjoyed his burrito because he's going to be living on refried bean. Oh, so that guy is also in jail? The guy that was in the van with the broken jaw? Well, he was the meth dealer? Oh, okay. And to answer your question, how do you eat a burrito with a wired jaw? Very carefully.
Wait, Carolyn, one bean at a time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh, that's crazy.
oh my goodness.
To refried beans every day. Yeah. No, the chick was the dealer, BBT? Which chick?
The mom?
No, the broken jaw guy is on probation. Oh, okay. Apparently broken jaw guy also cleaned the trailer for them, so at least I guess he's repaying them for the ride and the burrito.
Yeah, I thought the interesting testimony as well on this McNabb trial was the friend, and he was on the stand in his little jail jumpsuit, and he really was not happy with McNabb or the mom either about their behavior. You could tell.
Can I ask you what a turtle suit is? I don't know what that is. What is a turtle suit?
A turtle suit?
That's
I've never
what
heard of a
that's what
turtle
he
suit,
said.
unless it's the-
He said he was wearing that when he exposed himself to the psychologist, and then went to town.
Sometimes we put people in, it's like a jumpsuit with a zipper all the way from the crotch all the way to the neck, and it has no other openings, and it's like white.
Oh, they said
if they don't have
anti-suicide.
any
Is that what it is? An anti-suicide suit?
Yeah, so that way, like if they take off their clothes or they try to hurt themselves, you put them in that. And then sometimes if they don't have clothes, like when they leave, because, you know, we arrest them when they're naked or whatever,
Yeah.
we put them in that, you know, to get them from wherever they're at in the jail to wherever they're going to go. And we'll put them in one of those white, it's like a paper jumpsuit thing.
Oh, because he said something, his excuse was he did not do that the suits were so old that the Velcro didn't hold, and so when he stood up, it just exposed him.
Oh, no, that's something different then. I don't know what that is, because ours have zippers, so.
Yeah, he said the Velcro didn't work well.
Hmm.
A turtle suit is a suit they give you when you're suicidal. Is that just because, why is it like that? Just because your head sticks out? Is that why they call it a turtle suit?
I would think if it was a suicide jacket, we have suicide vests, suicide jackets, and pants, but you can't move your arms, so that would be.
Yeah, how did he, yeah,
your arms are
that,
kind of like almost behind you, right?
yeah, how did he do that? Nobody knows.
That wouldn't make sense, yeah.
Straight jacket thing, yeah, that's weird. But why would she lie? Why would the psychologist, yeah.
She wouldn't lie. He did it.
Oh,
He wouldn't
okay.
lie. There's no reason for her to lie. Yeah, no.
Oh, somebody says it's dark green and it looks like a. You're joking, right, Cheryl? She said it's dark green and it looks like a giant shell. Just nothing to hurt yourself with, no drawstrings, Snoop Medic says. Where's the people that work? And like, don't you have anybody that hands out the suits in the prison? This is the turtle suit. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think he was lying. I think she told the truth. I think he was like doing stuff.
Hi 69 says sometimes the turtle suit is padded with Velcro.
I don't know.
And he doesn't have any personal experience with it. No. But you never answered me about the kids.
I'm sorry.
No, he never answered me on the kids. I was just teasing him.
Oh, okay. No, I think that I feel sorry for public defenders and alternate public defenders, private defense attorneys, because these defendants, man, they are like cussing at them and throwing stuff, and it gets pretty brutal. They get attacked a lot more than the DA does.
Right, yeah. And they, like in the, wasn't it? No, it was the Jodi Arias. He wanted to get off the case so badly. He's tried so many times to get out of there, and they just kept saying, no. Yeah.
The judge was like, nope, you suffer.
You're on there. But then he ended up, didn't he write a book about that case?
He made some money too, and then I think she sued him.
Did she sue him?
Yeah.
It says there are pictures of the turtle suit on Google. I'll check that out later.
Oh.
Hi, thank you. And Mrs. Roger Rabbit says an anti-suicide smock is a Ferguson turtle suit, a Bam Bam suit, or a suicide gown. It's a tear-resistant single-piece outer garment that is generally used to prevent hospitalized, incarcerated, and then she couldn't type anymore. Because you only get so many characters. So he got cancer and wrote a book. Oh, he did get cancer?
He did get cancer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks totally different now.
But he's bald. Isn't he bald now? Is it?
I think he is, yeah.
Okay. You heard that turtles stick their necks out of the suit once in a while. Other times they hide in there, Snow Rover said. Oh, wait. BBT sent me a picture. But it's a Ninja Turtle. The kid dressed up as a Ninja Turtle. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't think they can see it, BBT. And I don't want to flash your number out there and dox you. I could have done that, BBT. I just thought of that. I would have doxed you. See? I looked. You would have been totally doxxed. Everybody would be calling those crazy guys that were calling here.
Her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those crazy guys, you would never go to sleep. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I really say he lost weight. He was embarrassed at how he was, how he was shamed. Oh, he didn't look. He had a really suit that was way too big. Put her number up, somebody said, so we can send her turtle pictures. Can you please ask Dawn if they get treatment? No, here's what she said. Can you please ask Dawn, and I think she means if, they get treatment in jail of prisoners get cancer? I think she means, do prisoners in jail get treatment for cancer?
Yeah, it depends what they're in for. Like, if they're in, county jail, if they're not going to be there that long, they might start giving them some sort of treatment, but they really try to release them and let them seek treatment on their own because it's a lot of money to treat them. But, they treat everything else, diabetes, epilepsy, mental illness. We have a surgery ward, so to speak, connected in the hospital in downtown LA. So, inmates are transported to the hospital for treatment of anything, really. But when it comes to cancer and stuff, even though they might start the treatment, if they're not in there for a serious crime, they try to release them so that they can follow up with their own treatment and be with their family.
Oh, Mr. Roger Rabbit said they can get gender reassignment surgery as well?
Not in California, but where did I hear that they did that? They did pass a law in one of the states. Which one was it? Oh, I can't remember. Not in California yet, but there was another state. Which one was it? I think it was Idaho.
It was Idaho, but wait a minute. Then do they get to switch to a women's prison then?
Yes, after completion, sure.
You think any of them do it? But somebody said somebody said working in the women's prison is worse, but not that they said being in the both of them. I don't know. Somebody was on here recently and they said that the women's prison is worse because they're women in there and they're really bad.
That's what I heard too. I never had to work the female jail side, so I don't know specifically myself, but I've always heard from all the females that I worked with that they hated it there.
Oh my gosh. Save Robbie just almost got peed on by a homeless person in Denver. He almost got peed on by a homeless person in Denver.
What's he doing outside walking around?
His bus broke down, I think.
Oh.
Robbie, you should go call an Uber.
Yeah, why is he still there?
I saw some guy I thought was going to jump on the tracks when I was dropping my daughter off at the train. He was like doing this weird dance like right up onto the tracks. Crazy. Scared me. But get an Uber. But did he mean that? What happened to your car? Oh, somebody said it was not. I had the wrong guy that lost weight. It was her defense attorney, Jodi Arias. He lost. I think he had a gastric bypass, didn't he?
I don't know about that, but he did get sick though. I know he did get sick.
Okay.
He did an interview.
Right, and what the name of his book was? Yeah, I saw his book. I bought Juan Martinez's book. Actually, I think I bought it on an audiobook, but I didn't buy his.
I'll tell you, Juan Martinez is a little stud. He was freaking going after that.
Oh, I really liked him. He's
hilarious.
Especially when he pulled that picture when she was trying to act all sweet and innocent, and then he flashed that picture. Yeah.
She was mad.
Oh yeah, and he started playing those tapes, and I don't understand how her teenage brother was sitting in the courtroom. I mean, when some of that stuff was going, that was crazy. But anyway, yes, Sharon's our new Gail, so we're going. Sharon's on Gail duty tonight. So anyway, but thank you guys for calling in, and we'll all get up early and watch the Jones trial, and then come back and talk about it. So be up and early, get up for that. So BBT, you have just a few hours to sleep, 6 hours. That's good enough.
Tell her to get some sleep. Yeah. She has to call in tomorrow.
Thank you, Margie Rocks. And yes, and prayers for Jay Bells and little Alessandro. They need them. Please keep them in your prayers, okay? And all right. Good night. Thank you, mods. Thank you for coming in, Dawn. All right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I think we just...
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Let's see. Oh, Bewitched. End meeting. and stream.